रामानुजदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वयभट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखरयोगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणु परकाल यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्. At the outset, I would request that the lights on the audience side is also switched on. I would like to see them. So please don't dim the lights on the audience's side. Please keep the lights on the audience's side. பொய்கை முனி பூதத்தார் பேயாழ்வார் தன் பொருநல் வரும் குருகேசன் வீட்டு சித்தன் துய்ய குலசேகரன் நம் பணநாதன் தொண்டரடி பொடி மழி செய்வந்த சோதி வையமெல்லாம் மறை விளங்க வாழ்வேல் ஏந்தும் மங்கையர்கோன் என்றிவர்கள் மகிழ்ந்து பாடும் செய்ய தமிழ் மாலைகள் நாம் தெளிய போதி தெரியாத மறை நிலங்கள் தெளிகின்றோமே. भक्तिसार कुलशेखर यतीन्द्र भट्टनाथ भूतमुनिवाहन भक्तपाद धूलि मधुर कविसर परकाल महदाह्वय प्रमुखैरविरल संस्तूयमान तद्रमिडगानरसोल्लस किञ्चित् उन्मीलितनयनं पालितभुवनं खेलितरङ्गपुरन्दरभवनं श्रीरङ्गनाथम् अनीशम्. Namassadase, Namassabhaye. With the abundant blessings of Paramatma Shriyapati, we have gathered under the umbrella of a very revered organization called Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, which for years together has been serving the cause of Dharma, of the Shastras, and of culture. In this arduous task that Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan has achieved over years, this compendium for days together that's happening is under the umbrella of Santavani. Tyagaraja Swami, when he has to revere Rama, he says the Rama who has done such impossible tasks in the Ramayana, in the first Pancharatna, which is a nattai called Jagadada Nandakaraka. Then, of course, he repents and laments over the tribulations and the problems that we undergo in Gaula, which is Duduku Gala. Then he gets into understanding both Rama and Krishna in Sadhinchane, in Arabhi. Then there is an anubhavam of Rama's achievements in Kana Kana Ruchira. Then he understands that the best way to reach Bhagavan is through a Bhagavata and ends up singing the Kriti in Shri titled Yendaro Mahanubhavulu. So, in this Santavani, they have ensured that they have accommodated and brought as many saint composers in Bharata Desha under one umbrella. If you look at the schedule that has been published by Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, it comprises of movies, it comprises of talks, it comprises of music, So there is not one genre that they have left, and everything has been addressed. In this rigmarole of understanding our Shastras, the pioneers in the historic bhakti movement are undoubtedly the Azhwars saints. Now, since we are living in challenging times when giving some dates of languages can take you to a Tihar or a Pural jail, not getting into a challenging task of understanding which language came from which. We as followers of Sanatana Dharma need to learn and appreciate each language as a language. I could be a Marathi speaking, a Telugu speaking, a Malayalam speaking, a Kannada speaking, a Tulu speaking, a Konkani speaking, a Hindi speaking Astika. But if I would want to get to the depth of Dharma and its history, I shouldn't stop myself from appreciating another language. In this case, it is Tamil. Just because I'm speaking about the Tamil Pasurams, it doesn't mean I will not, should not, and cannot speak Kannada. So they are not mutually exclusive. When you start appreciating languages, you will get to the depth of Dharma. Because that's very important to understand, because all my references today will be in Tamil. Very rarely I have to divulge in Sanskritam or Telugu. Because the topic of discussion is Azhwars. If I were given Purandaradasa and Kanakadasa, I will try doing justice to the Kannada language. So, that said, the pioneers in the Bhakti movement have been the Azhwars. But at the outset, I have to tell you, though the topic reads works of Azhwar saints, it has another word that's preceding it, which is called the life and the works of the Azhwar saints. So, life becomes history. And if you have to wear the mask of a traditional scholar, then I have to reach till the Krita Yuga. But if I have to don the role of a historian, then I have to reach only between the second half of the 6th century and the first half of the 9th century. So, Azhwars, as per history, as per overwhelming literary and archaeological evidence, and especially inscriptional evidence, have lived between the 6th and the 9th centuries. They were also contemporaries of saints of great Shiva Bhakti called Nayanmars. And those Nayanmars were discussed in the preceding session, is what I presume. So, hoping you would have attended the preceding session and would have taken notes exquisitely, I'm sure you will have a very deep knowledge of the Nayanmars now. So what I am going to attempt is only the Azhwars. Even before I get into the word Azhwar, the word Azhwar itself is a task. Because you will have to get the pronunciation of the letter Ra right. So, Azhwars were saints who were extremely immersed in Hari Bhakti. The verb in Tamil for immersion is Arnd. Since they were immersed in devotion, they were called Arnd Kidappavar Azhwar. And the beauty about today's schedule is the lecture before me, 2 sessions before me, was done by M.A. Azhwar of the Mysore Prantiyam, a great French scholar. So now that we have spoken about Azhwars, we have to go back to the days of Bhagavata Mahapuranam. In the Bhagavata Mahapuranam, which is a conversation between the son of Abhimanyu called Parikshit and the son of Vedavyasa called Shuka Brahmam, there is a prophecy which is made. Kvachit kvachin mahabhaga dramideshu cha bhurishaha Tamraparni nadi yatra kritamala payasvini kaveri cha mahapunya pratichi cha mahanadi. This is the shloka in Bhagavatam. It comes in the Bhagavatam. Where Shuka tells, Parikshit, do not worry that the laundry list of the Hari devotees have stopped now. There are very many, but they will be born in the future. He has to give some coordinates, some location, right? We ask GPS location, de do. So he says, Kvachit Kvachin Mahabhaga, Dramideshu cha Bhurishaha. They will be born in the peninsular land. Tamraparni nadi yatra. Wherever you find the river Tamraparni. Tamraparni is Tamira Bharani. That flows in the region south of Madurai, typically in a town called Tirunelveli. So this river, by the banks of it, was a place called Azhwar Tirunagari, which gave rise to Nammazhwar. And on the other side is Tirukkolur, which gave rise to Madhurakavi. So it talks about two saints who will be born by the banks of Tamraparni. Shuka tells this to Parikshit. Tamraparni nadi yatra. He then goes upwards. Kritamala. Kritamala is Vaigai in Madurai. By very close to Vaigai, two saints were born. Periyazhwar and Andal in a temple town called Srivilliputturu. Kritamala. Then he goes upwards. He comes all the way near Kanchipuram and Chengalpet. He calls it Payasvini. That river which may look like milk, which is Palar. So he talks about Poigayalvar, Bhudattalvar, Peyalvar and Tirumalizai Piran, 4. So 2 by Tamraparani, 2 by Kritamala, which is Vaigai, 4 by Palar. 4 plus 2 plus 2, 8. Kaveri cha Mahapunya. Kaveri, Tondaradipodiyalvar, Tirumangayalvar, Tirupanalvar. 8 plus 3, 11. Mahabhaga. That river which locally for that population is a large river. Periyar river in Kerala. Kulashekharalvar. 11 plus 1, 12. So the prophecy in Bhagavatam talks about the Azhwars who will be born between the 6th and the 8th century. So if we believe Mahabharata happened in 3136 BCE and Krishna left to Vaikuntham in 3102 BCE and Kali Yuga is calculated from that based on our Panchangam which says 5000 plus years, then Parikshit, who was after the Mahabharata Yuddham, must have spoken this around 3050 BCE, about a 6th century AD. So there has been a time gap of close to 3000 years that this prophecy was made. 350 years before, from the time that we are living, Uttukkadu Venkatakavi says in one composition, Bhakti Sara Kulashekara Yatindra Bhattanata Bhuta Munivahana Bhaktapada Dhuli Madhura Kavisara Parakala Mahadakwaya Pramukhaira Virala Samstuya Manata Dramidadana Rasullasa Kinchit Unmilitanayanam Palita Bhuvanam Kelita Ranga Purandara Bhavanam Shri Ranganatham Anisham Bhaktisara Kulashekara Yatindra Bhattanatha Bhuta Muni Vahana Bhaktapada Dhuli Madhurakavi Sara Parakala Mahadakwaya Pramukhaira Virala Samstu Yamana Tadramidagana Rasulla Sakinchit Unmilita Nayanam Palita Bhuvanam Kelita Ranga Purandara Bhavanam Sri Ranganatham Anisham. 350 years back he talks about the saints. 450 years back, one of the Panchamahakavyam in Telugu is Amukta a Kannada king, Krishnadevaraya, talks about the Tamil poet saint Andal in the Telugu language. It is called Amukta. So, Andal was very well known 400 years back. 750 years back, close to 800 years back, a temple in the outskirts of Bangkok was constructed exclusively for the recitation of Tirupavai. The last two pasurams of Tirupavai are recited during the Pattabhishekam of the Thai king. If we do it for an Indian king, that's all, court in Supreme Court case. How can you recite? Thai king, they have no problem. they recite Tirupavai. Pattabhishekam happens with Tirupavai Pasurams. 750 plus years back, Vedanta Deshika says, Poigai Muni, Budattar, Peyalvartam, Purunalvarum, Kurukesan, Vittuchittan, Tuyya Kulashekaran, Nampananathan, Tondaradipodi, Marisai Vandasodi, Vayamellam, Varai Vilanga, Val, Vel, Yendum, Mangayarkon, Yendrivargal, Magundapadu, Saya Tamil Malegal Nam, Teliavodi, Telio, the Marinilangal, Teligindromi. 1000 years back, we had Bhagavad Ramanuja who fainted at the 18th Pasuram of Tirupavai in Srirangam. 1200 years back, you had Nathamuni who recorded all the 4000 Pasurams at the behest and the grace of Nammazhwar. So there has been a continuous tradition of the Azhwars, their lives and their works. In that, the first 3 Azhwars in Tamil are referred to as Mudal Azhwars. Modru New Helbeku. See, Kannada and Tamil are very close. They are all relatives. Modru New Helbeku. Mudal. Mudal means first. But here, a compendium of 3 Azhwars become the Mudal Azhwars. Who are these people? The Guru Parampara says, Trayaste mithona samparka jushoba bhuvuhu. 3 of them have not met. They were not classmates. We studied together. We were sophomores and the freshmen. The first, all that didn't happen. So they didn't know about each other. One was from Kanchipuram, one was from Mailapur, the other one was from Mahabalipuram. All 3 from the Pallava Desha. They were called in Tamil, they have Sanskrit equivalent names. The Tamil names are very interesting. Poigai, one Azhwar's name was Lake. Poigai means lake. His name was Mr. Lake. If you go to the west, many of the professors will be like that. Mr. Stone. Can I talk to Mr. Hill? Hill, our pere Mala. Right. So here, the first Azhwar's name was Poigai, lake. Second Azhwar, slightly frightening name, Bhutam. Third, Pei. What ain't said in the history? Because they were so much lost in Bhagavan that their names didn't matter. Poigai, Bhutam, Pei. Now one was from Kanchipuram. One was from Mahabalipuram. One was from, where did I say? Mailapur. How can you forget Mailapur, sir? Next month fully I am in Chennai, Mailapur. Street by street I have to keep giving Upanyasam. So these 3 Azhwars, they hailed from 3 different places. And they once went to a place renowned, known for Bhagavan, where the rishi called Mrikandu was performing penance. That place is near Viluppuram today. So I request all my audience to kindly audio record if possible in your phone. Because you can share it later with your relatives. See, there is no copyright material in Dharma. You have to keep sharing. Become Dharma Pracharakas. Free lecture. Please record. So, they all went to this Divyadesham. And in that Divyadesham, these 3 Azhwars were there. But they were at different points in time. For one, they got darshan ticket at 2:30, one at 4, one at 6. After having darshanam, they wanted to leave. They went by different streets and they wanted to leave this place called Tirukkovalur. As they were about to leave, they saw the clouds were about to precipitate, rain. So they found one house. The house had a little ale in it. And people used to have some elevated platforms and ales outside their house to accommodate the passers-by. So one of them went and slept. They said it's already going to rain. And he went and slept. Then the second person came. He said he was struggling to ask this person. It is like Bombay local. If you go in Mumbai local, when there is very little place in the train, you will get place. On Sunday between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. the train will be empty. you will be struggling, you will be wondering where to sit because you have seen the train flooded. Half your thought will be going in which seat to sit. So the first Azhwar said, I will give you place, but we won't have place for both of us to sleep. We will both sit. Then the third Azhwar came, he said, can you accommodate me? These first two Azhwars were very good people. So they said, we will accommodate you, but we won't have place to sit. We three of us will stand. As the three of them stood, suddenly they felt a fourth person had barged in. They knew they were only physically three. Who is the fourth person with the invisibility cloak? That is when they said, let us light. And that is how the first Pasuram was born. These three Azhwars sang 100, 100, 100 each. Mudal Tiruvandadi, Irandam Tiruvandadi, Moondram Tiruvandadi. You don't have to worry about what will be the names of the Andadis. They have given easy names. First three Azhwars were very simple people. They gave easy names. So then they discovered that Bhagavan wanted to be amidst them. So Azhwar, now I have to discuss their life. Their life is this much. Life done. This is only incident in their life. Major incident. When they sing in their pasurams, they bring such grandeur. The first Azhwar, Poigai Azhwar, talks about Bhagavan's multi-purpose bed. Adisesha is the multi-purpose bed. If Bhagavan wants to sit, he is the seat. If Bhagavan wants to walk, he is the umbrella. If Bhagavan wants to walk, he is the padukas, the set of hush puppies. If Bhagavan wants to sleep, he gets the molten skin as his blanket. If Bhagavan wishes to be seen by the devotees, the light that his resplendent eyes shed on him becomes the torch. If Bhagavan wants some air, he brings his tongue out and starts fanning him. So the tongue is the fan, the eyes are the torch, the molten skin is the blanket, he is the bed, the swollen or the inflamed portion or the portion where he has sucked in air becomes the pillow. If he wishes to sit, Adisesha is the seat. If he wishes to walk, he is the umbrella and the set of padukas. Sendral Kudayam, Irundal Singhasanamam, Nindral Maravadiyam, Neel Kadalul Yendrum Punayam. Now, for this Pasuram, if you are a decent speaker, you can give 2 hours lecture on this Pasuram itself. But Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan will sue me. They'll say, in 2 hours you have promised to give the lives and works of all Azhwars. How can you talk about only one Pasuram? So you believe me that whatever I've explained is in this Pasuram. Punayam, Manivilakkam, Pumpattam, Pulgumanayam, Thirumalu Karavu. This Poigai Azhwar was interviewed in Arnab Goswami's studio. Arnab asked, nation wants to know, Poigai ji, aapko itna jnaan kahan se mila? So he says, Karuvarangathul kidandhen kaitoludhen kandhen Thiruvarangan meyantishay. Arnab, you wanted to know where I got this knowledge? I was bestowed with the quintessential knowledge of Paramatma while I was in my mother's womb. Garbha Shriman. So none of these Azhwars went to a proper school. He just went to a finishing school and just got his certificate. He's just doing his residency and then his internship. All this didn't happen. They were blessed. They were already fed with knowledge. They didn't have to go and acquire. Mayarvara Madinalam Arula Petravargal. Fed data. You know, pen drives come with feeded data, right? They will have data in it. Likewise, they were knowledgeable. So he says, Karuvarangathul kidandhen, while I was inside my mother's womb, Jayamanam hi Purushaha Yampashen Madhusudanaha. But he is very specific. Azhwars were responsible for our domestic economy. They only sang on 108 Divyadeshams. If they have not sung, then 0.5% in our GDP will be low. Everybody wants to go. You have gone to 108 Divyadeshams? 108. They were the cause of 108. So he says, I didn't see just the Bhagavan. Thiruvarangan meyantishay. From the Garbham, the amniotic sac of my mother, I saw Srirangam near Trichy. I saw Chittirai street, Uttaram street. He tells, Geography, coordinates he gives. Now, did Azhwars give us philosophy? Absolute philosophers. But they gave it in simple language. It is a big problem for us. I gave 3 days of lecture in Singapore in 2024 on Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter. Generally, I don't venture in Bhagavad Gita because it's a very philosophical topic, and you should be personally a selfless person, a person with great vairagyam, which I am not. So why venture in Bhagavad Gita? But the organizers said, you have to give it on Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. I delivered the lecture. After 3 days, one person came and said, sir, you didn't do a good job in Bhagavad Gita. I said, why? Because I understood. So, the belief in the Indian audience is, only if the lecture is a bit complex and not so comprehensible, then the person who has delivered is a scholar. If you make things very simple, sir, purira mariye solrar, ella avaru helodella artha agatte sir, no problem sir. So Bhagavad Gita means half you should not understand. It should look as if you have gone out of the auditorium. If people ask, what have you? Yeno sir, ontara high level alli helidru. Azhwars says in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, because 7th chapter is where Bhakti Yogam begins. Mattaf parataramna anyate kinchidasti dhananjaya, says Krishna. There he says, Chaturvida bhajante mam janaha sukritinurjunaha. Artaha jignasur artharthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. He says there are 4 kinds of devotees. See, in coffee we say, right, 80% coffee, 20% chicory. Like the devotees also, there are 4 grades. Premium 1, Premium 2, Premium 3, Premium 4. Artaha. Jignasu. 3rd category, Artharthi. 4th, Jnani. Krishna tells this. You can fact check me like Rajdeep. Okay. There are 4 devotees. Who is Artaha? Artaha means that devotee who has lost something and has gained it back. See, the life is about, I think in 2011, there was a concept of dual SIM in the phone. That was the first time dual SIM came. You won't have much people to talk with one SIM. Dual SIM. Assuming that people want to talk to you, I got a dual SIM. But the day I bought it in the morning, that evening itself I lost near Kurla in Mumbai. Will you get that back? No. 3 years back, when I went to Kurla, I spotted that phone, the same phone, in one place. Will you believe me? No chance. In India and all, you cannot find sir. What are you telling me? ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಮಂಚೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. So, you know what does sundaram mean in Sanskritam? Nashtaishwaryam iva praptaha. The one who has regained what he has lost is called sundaram in Sanskritam. That is why Sita had no hope that she will see Rama. When Hanuman came, she got that hope, right? That is why it is called Sundarakandam. Nashtaishwaryam iva praptaha sundaram. That's the commentary. So the first category, Rama remembers his previous avataram. So Artaha means the one who has gained what he has lost as wealth. Artharthi means the one who never possessed wealth but has got wealth. So one who had no wealth and has received wealth, one category, Artharthi. The one who was wealthy, lost it and gained it back is Artaha. So Artaha and Artharthi, Premium 1 and Premium 3 are called Aishwaryarthi. Second category is Jignasu. Who is Jignasu? The one who wants to meditate on his own Atma, Kaivalyarthi. Who is Jnani? The one who meditates on Paramatma, Bhagavallabharti, Aishwaryarthi, Kaivalyarthi, Bhagavallabharti. Artaha, Artharthi in Aishwaryarthi, Jignasu in Kaivalyarthi, Jnani in Bhagavallabharti. Poigai Azhwar says, Ezhwar, Vidaikolvar, Indulayanai Valuva Nigaindu Vaigal Toluvar. He brings out Bhagavad Gita's essence in one pasura. That is why he said they were philosophers. Now, the second Azhwar increased Tamil Nadu's economy in 2019 by 20%. His name is Bhutam. Why did he increase 20%, sir? Because Attivaradar came that day. How many of you went and saw Attivaradar? Sir, we are all fully there, sir. Without us, how can Attivaradar come? He took our permission. Once in 40 years he came. Remember that the only pasuram that this Bhagavan, such a massive temple in Kanchipuram, has got from this Azhwar. He sang one pasuram. Out of 4,000, one pasuram, this Bhagavan came into 108 list. Attiyuran, Pullai Urvan, Tuttisher Nagattin Mel Tuyilvan, Mutti Marayavan, Yengal Nyalamundan. So, Bhudattalvar talks about this Attiyuran. So, Bhudattalvar talks about that greatness. Periyazhwar, one of the famous pasurams that you might have heard. Talshadayum Nilmudiyum Vonmazhuvum Chakaramum Shuravum Ponnanum Tondrumal Tirandaruvipai Tirumale Mel Yendraikku Iranduruvum Vondrai Ishaindu Yentammatramuna. Have you heard that Balaji Pancharatnamala 1978 edition? Side B. In the tape recorder, you will have side A and side B, right? This will come. This is Periyazhwar's pasuram. There is a lot of depth to this pasuram, but given the time that I have loads to cover. The poet said, right, in miles to go before I sleep. I have got miles. So assume that all the three Azhwars were good and their works were good. Now, we are going to a very interesting Azhwar. This Azhwar did a Garvapsi. He was a Buddhist, he was a Jaina, he was a Shaiva, and then became a Vaishnava. He talks about that. Ariyar Samanar, Ayartar Pautar, Siriyar Sivapattar, Malavanai, Madhavanai, Yettadar. So he has gone to all these schools of philosophy because Buddhism and Jainism were very popular. This Azhwar was born in the outskirts of Chennai, called Tirumalizai. Sir, you ಹೇಳೋದಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಹೆಸರು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು? Tirumalizai. Imagine this was your name in the passport. Anantaraman becomes another man. What will happen to Tirumalizai? Isai will come. Tirumali we won't come. So this Tirumalizai Azhwar, as of now he is Azhwar. Later his name will change. This Tirumalizai Azhwar was not born in a Brahmana community. That's a very important takeaway. Most of these Azhwars were not Brahmanas. Most of them, barring 3 that I know of, none of them were Brahmanas. So the concept, the very myth that Sanatana Dharma is Brahmanism is busted. Most of them were not Brahmanas. He was born into a kulam where there was no scope for him to read the Vedas, but what he has given is the highest form of Vedanta. In one of the past, so I spoke about the first 3 Azhwars, you remember? 13 minutes back. Poigai Azhwar, Bhudattalvar, Periyazhwar, 100, 100, 100. Mudal Tiruvandadi, Irandam Tiruvandadi, Moondram Tiruvandadi. This Azhwar had a promotion. He gave 2 works. The first one is called Nanmugan Tiruvandadi, 96 pasurams. Second is 120 pasurams called Tiruchanda Viruttam. How is this? Viruttam is the name of a meter in Tamil. Viruttappa, we call it. Kondai konda kodai meedu then ulavu koonikon, undai konda ranga otti ulmagizhndanaadaru, nandai undu narai pera vaalai paaya neelame, andai kondu kendai meyum anda neer arangame. Kondai konda kodai. Who is kodai? Andal. Kodai generally means woman. Generally. So at times common noun will become proper noun. Right? Generally, if someone is very childish in Uttar Bharat, they'll say, ye pappu hai. So at times, that adjective will become a noun. Right? Similarly, what you're telling, I just gave you an example. Now, Kodai means a woman. Kondai konda kodai means the one who had a bun. Meedu ten ulavu. Now, Azhwar, half of the pasuram, he is describing the hairstyle.
Kondai konda kodai, that lady with that bun. Over that bun, there were flowers, and around the flowers, the bees were hovering. Kondai konda kodai meedu ten ulavu. Now, the beauty is, from a distance, she looked like a Bactrian camel. Because Bactrian camel has two humps. This lady had one hump here. Who is this lady? Manthara. Manthara had a hump. Here she had a bun, over that flowers, and then bees. So from a distance she looked with two humps. Kondai konda kodai meedu ten ulavu kooni koon. Now what did Rama do? Rama, along with his brothers, took that bow, took some small mud balls and hit at her hump. So the moment the mud ball would strike her hump, it will tickle her and she will do this. So the hump will go inside. She will look straight. Then again she'll go like this, the hump will come. So Bhagavan, through his act, has been trying to correct the deformities and mistakes in his bhakta. Where is that Bhagavan who did that? He is in Neelam Kundu Arangame. Now he is resting in Srirangam. Who did this act? Not Rama. Rama is now in Srirangam. So Azhwar has sung. Now, this Azhwar's life has a very interesting incident. This Azhwar had a student called Kanikannan. This Kanikannan was a very good student. To get a good student is a great fortune of a teacher. Else they will have all naughty ones. Now this Tirumalizai Azhwar, who was completely engrossed in Hari Bhakti, had a student called Kanikannan and an old lady in the ashrama who used to selflessly serve the Azhwar. She used to put rangoli. One day the Azhwar opened his eyes after dhyana. He looked at her. She became a Kumari. Very pretty lady. She took one Miss India form and applied. Very pretty she became. She was walking by the streets of Kanchipuram. The Pallava Raja at that point in time saw her. He said, "Oh lady, you look so pretty. Where have you been all these months and years?" She said, "I have same here, sir, number 14, new number. Kanchipuram only." "What, you were a very old lady. What anti-aging treatment is this? Batao. Is it Kaya or what is it?" She said, "No Kaya, I have a great teacher. He looked at me." "Oh, can he look at me also?" She said, "See, my Acharya has not opened a shop to..." He won't agree. Nay, I will ask. And he asked this Azhwar student, Kanikannan. I told you, right, some time back, at least for that half an hour, you remember the names. It will be easy. So, he went and asked, "Kanikannan, aavo idhar." Oh, this is Tamil Nadu, you cannot talk in Hindi. So, inge va. He said, "Come here, he'll borrow. Ask your teacher to look at me." Kanikannan said, "That is not possible. When you are not adhering to the king's command, I banish you from the kingdom." He said, "Okay. If you go in the outskirts, real estate price will be low." So he went and told his teacher, "Main ja raha hu." The teacher said, "See, if you are the only student. If the student goes, then what will the teacher do?" "Sir, who are you, teacher? How many students? Nobody." So he said, "I will also join you." They were incidentally in a Divyadesham where Bhagavan was resting. He was called Vega Setu. He said, "Vega Setu, I am going. Kanigannan pogindran kamarum pungachi tamarai kanna nee ingirukka venda. My student Kanikannan is going. What purpose will it serve if I am going to stay here? So I am leaving. Hey Bhagavan, you have a great snake mat. Why don't you roll it up like hold on? You know hold on? Hold all. Take that and come with me." Bhagavan rolled it and came. That's all. Temple, Bhagavan was missing. So HRNC has been operative since then. So Bhagavan went missing. Then this king had a dream that he has hurt a great devotee. Then he went in the outskirts of Kanchipuram and told this Azhwar, "Sorry sir, I didn't know your greatness. You please come back to your place and come with your student and Bhagavan." So one night they stayed in that place. Or iravu irikkai, or ikkai, where Paramacharya used to sit. So they came back Now Azhwar came, his student came, Bhagavan also came. Bhagavan was standing. You tell me what I should do now. He says, Painagappayil paduthukul. Now you sleep. So he extended his Adisesha mat and slept. So he absolutely adhered to what the Azhwar said. Sonna vannam seida peruman. So in Sanskritam, the one who does what the devotee says is called yathoktakari. Bhagavan bhakti matam yathoktakari. So this is a great incident in this Azhwar's life. Then he went to Kumbhakonam. Dharage dakshina kaveri tira kumbhapuravasanu neene ಕರದಲ್ಲಿ ವೀಣಯ ಗಾನವ ಮಾಡುವ ಉರಗಭೂಷಣನು ನೀನೇ ಕೊರಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಸ್ಮ ರುದ್ರಾಕ್ಷವ ಧರಿಸಿದ ಪರಮ ವೈಷ್ಣವನು ನೀನೇ ಗರುಡ ಗಮನ ಶ್ರೀ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಪ್ರಿಯನು ನೀನೇ ಚಂದ್ರಚೂಡ ಶಿವ ಧರಗೆ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತೀರ Kumbhapuravasa. So he went to Kumbhakonam. When he went to Kumbhakonam, see, if you go technically to Kumbhakonam now, if you go to this temple of Sharangapani, Bhagavan is huge, close to about 13.5 feet. But you cannot see him unless you bend your head, because on either side there will be wall. So as the Azhwar was coming, the devotees said, go fast, go fast. It is now puja, they will draw the screen, curtain. So Azhwar couldn't run beyond a certain point. So he looked at Bhagavan and said, Nadanda kalgal nondavo nedunga nyalamenamagidanda maikulungavo milangu malvareishuram kadanda kal paranda kaveri karai kudandayul. Kumbhakonam in the Tamil is called, language is called Kudandai. So if you go to Tamil Nadu, Kumbhakona heng hogbeku, nobody will reply. Kudandai, you have to tell the local name. Then only they will allow you. So Kudandai, Kudandayul Parandakal, Kadandakal Parandakaveri Karai Kudandayul. They had to draw the curtain. Bhagavan said, oh, my devotee is coming. And he rose from his bed. Immediately, people said, hey, for this Tirumalizai Azhwar who's coming, Bhagavan is rising. Azhwar felt so bad. For this man, should you rise? So stay how you are. That is a tough decision. Because either Bhagavan has to sit or sleep. Bhagavan was at 45 degrees. It is called Utthanam. Utthanam means as you are rising. So he said, Bhagavan, however you are, you freeze. So he froze. This is the Divyadesham where he is neither sleeping nor sitting. It's called Utthana Shayanam. Kidanda Karanda Kadanda Kal Paranda Kaveri Karai Kudandayul Kidanda Varu எழுந்திருந்து பேசுவாழி கேசனே. The way you are, freeze. Children play this game, right? Freeze. He froze. So this Azhwar had a unique ability. Since he sang so beautifully, this Bhagavan in that Divyadesham said, let us exchange our names. Bhagavan was called Aravamuda Piran. He was called Tirumalizai Azhwar. They exchanged names. He became Tirumalizai Piran and Bhagavan became Aravamuda Azhwan. So this Tirumalizai Azhwar had lot of greatness attached. Now let us assume many more things happened in his life and they all went well, as discussed in the previous chapters. Now let us go to the next Azhwar. If the word Azhwar exists, it exists only for him. Because other Azhwars need to be prefixed with the name. Poigai Azhwar, Bhudat Azhwar. But if someone says Azhwar yen helidru, that means this Azhwar. His name is Nammazhwar. He is our Azhwar. This Nammazhwar was always working remotely. He didn't have to go to office at all. First person who sang remotely is this Azhwar, because he has never been to any temple. He sat, Bhagavan used to come on Zoom and he used to give darshan. Nammazhwar, nan bagge yenad haadtira, he will sing 10 pasurams. Tumba santosha. Aitu, they will take those pasurams and go. So first Azhwar. But he worked extremely well from remote. So very sincere. Now they say moonlighting, right? For 2-3 companies you work at the same. That he never did. Only for Bhagavan Narayana he worked. So he was very loyal. Moral code of conduct, they didn't have to worry. Now this Azhwar used to drink. We also drink. He used to eat. He used to eat. He used to chew. We used to chew. But he had a different menu card. He used to eat Krishna, drink Krishna and chew Krishna. Yen saridu. Hangala madakagatta. Because for him, Bhagavan Nama Smarana was his nutrition. Can we do that? See, some of you may adhere to Ekadashi today. Many of us will do it tomorrow. There is a difference between Ekadashi Tithi and Ekadashi Vratam. So we follow Ekadashi tomorrow. But what is the menu for Ekadashi? Morning we have planned poha. Evening sabudana khichdi. In the afternoon banana shake. This is our Ekadashi menu. Ekadashi we have a menu. Imagine for other days. For this Azhwar, he was not interested in food. Unnum shorum paraganir tinnum vetrilayum ellam kannan. For him, Krishna was his food, Krishna was his water, Krishna was his betel leaf. Essentially meaning for him, Krishna's presence in him was his nutrition, satta. Unnum shoru paruganir tinnum vetrilayum ellam kannan. Yemberuman yendrendre kangal neer malgi. When he used to say Krishna, tears used to flow from his eyes, it seems. Do we get that, Krishna? We are strong. Navalla answer. Yen neer barake yen ide avunatra. That is why we are not Azhwars. Right? Kangal neer malgi. Manninum avan shirvanam. Mikkavan vurvinavi. Tinnam yen ilaman pugumur tirukolure. It's a beautiful pasuram. 50 pages commentary for this. 6 acharyas have written. We had to learn. I'll tell you about this pasuram later. Every pasuram of this Azhwar is a super hit. Varuvar Shelvar Vanparisharatturai Yen Tiruvazh Marvarkku Yen Tiram Sollar. There is a Dividesham called Thiruvan Parisaram near Nagarkovil. This was the place where this Azhwar's mother was born. So he was extremely attached. He was born in a place called Kurukapuri because Kuru kings in the north for real estate and long-term capital gains had bought one place in the south. It was called Kurugur. This Kurugur, after the advent of Azhwar, became Azhwar Tirunagari. Onnum tevum ulagumattum yadumilla vannu naanmugan tannodu devarodu ulagu padaithan kuntram pol manimada needu Tirukkurugur adarul nindravadi piran nirka matrai teivam nadudire. Every pasuram, he talks about creation. As he sings, you may think this is a beautiful Tamil poem. In this Tamil poem, he discusses about creation. Then he went to a Divyadesham called Tirukkurungudi. There he looked at the Bhagavan and said, I have fallen in love with you. How will he say? He became the lady. This was the greatness of this Azhwar. Whenever he chooses, he will become a lady. He could become the mother, the daughter, the friend or the sister. So he says, Yenganeyo annai meergal ennai munivadanir nangatkola tirukkurungudi nambiyai naan kandapin. After looking at him, Shanginodum nemiyodum tamarai kangalodum Shanganivai vonninodum selgindrathu vennenjame. My heart goes behind him. I've already proposed to him. Right? House proposal, I went to the US. One of the houses, they said, sir, now they have to propose. I said, do the boy and the girl know each other? They know them for a long time. Then what is there to propose? No, the girl and the boy will go. Jointly, they will select one solitaire stone somewhere. The girl would have seen that ring. The boy has to bring it. And he has to give it surprisingly to her. That is the proposal. Now, she should not know when. She will be waiting when he will call, but she should act as if it was just a date. And then suddenly, while she's drinking that coffee, she has to be careful. The ring will be inside that. If she drinks along with it, then operation. So then she will spot that ring. She bought it 2 days back. Yet she will act, wow. How did you just get this? And the proposal will happen. Now this Azhwar says, I have left my heart there to this Tirukkurungudi Bhagavan. He is so smart. Now, this Azhwar sang 4 prabandhams. Thiruviruttam, Thiruvasiriyam, Periya Tiruvandadi, Thiruvaimozhi. You remember first 3 Azhwars, 100, 100, 100. Second, Tirumalizai Piran, 96, 120. You have to remember, it will come to 216. Correct? I eat lady's finger every day. So, next is this Azhwar. Thiruviruttam, Thiruvasiriyam, Periya Tiruvandadi, Thiruvaimozhi. He sang the essence of the 4 Vedas as 4 prabandhams. Sahasrashakam Yodrakshim Dravidim Brahma Samhitam. Like the 1,000 shakhas of Samaveda, he sang Thiruvaimozhi. Now the beauty comes here. This Thiruvaimozhi is the prabandham. If you are qualified in Thiruvaimozhi, that means they will treat you as a beginner's scholar. You have just begun. How should you do it? 3 years it took for me to learn this. Why? For each of the pasurams, there are 1,000 plus pasurams. Remember this. There are 1,000 plus pasurams, verses. Each verse could be of 2 lines, 4 lines, 6 lines, 8 lines or 12 lines. It can be. For each of the pasurams, there is a commentary in a medley of both Sanskritam and Tamil called Mani Pravalam. The first commentary is by Ramanuja's own relative called Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan. One name. One name. If he has to fill one application form, imagine his problem. Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan. He wrote one commentary called Arayirappadi. To this commentary, there was a sub-commentary called Onbadinayirappadi by Bhattar, written through his student called Nanjiyar. Then there was an Acharya called Vadi Kesari Alagiya Manavala Jiyar. He wrote another commentary called Pannirayirappadi. Then there was the grandest of commentators called Periyavachan Pillai, who wrote Iravathinalayirappadi. Then there was an Acharya called Vadakuttiruvidi Pillai, who wrote the notes in Nampillai's class, which became Uppattarayirappadi Eedu. Then there is a Shabdartham by Sakshat Swami, Dramidopanishad Saram by Vedanta Deshika, with all these 6 to 8 commentaries for every pasuram. Like this, you have to learn for 1,000 pasurams by heart. Then you have to go to a sadas and answer. Then they will call you a scholar. Beda sir namgadalla. Yenidu. There, Azhwar now has assumed the role of a mother. That mother has a daughter. That daughter has fallen in love with Ranganatha of Srirangam. So she has been wanting to meet Ranganatha and she has been shedding tears incessantly for 3 days. So much so that she has no tears left. When Bhagavan comes, she will not be able to see him clearly. That moment, the girl's mother looks at Ranganatha and says, Yen maadidiyo nan maglige. She is crying, Kangulum pagalum kantu illariyal. She has not been sleeping. Kannanir kaigalal iraikum. So much tears that she has to empty the house. The house is flooded with her tears, it seems. This is called abhutopama. It will not happen. They used to write in many essays in those days. The mother-in-law scolded. The daughter-in-law cried and she wiped those tears with her pallu. She squeezed that pallu. The house was flooded. First of all, the first line itself is impossible. Mother-in-law scolding the daughter-in-law. Then she cries. Then that house will get flooded. But this girl cries. Kannaneer kaigalal iraikum. Then the girl's mother asked, Ranganatha, are you coming or not? He said, I've come. Can your daughter see me? Changu chakkarangal endru kai koopum. She will just look at a yellow light and white light. She'll assume this is Shankha Chakra and she'll put her palms together. Tamarai kannene talarum. Yangane dharikken unne vittennum. Irunilam kai tozhavirukkum. Shengayal paai neer tiruvarangathai. Ival tirathu en seedittaye. What have you done to my daughter, Ranganatha? She's just mad after you come and marry my daughter. See, Bhagavan said, if I have to marry my devotees who cry, then I have to marry everyone. Ranganatha! Cry. This was love, pristine love. Now, this Azhwar was a very sensitive person, very delicate person. How delicate was this Nammazhwar? He was writing about Krishna. There came a stage where he had to write, Krishna was tied to the mortar by Yashoda. He wrote, Hey Bhagavan, Ananta Kalyana Gunarupa of Vaikuntha, you were tied to a mortar, an achetana vastu, by a lady called Yashoda who has never been to a school. See, Yashoda has never been to a school. What has she learned? What levels has she passed? No level. She doesn't know any letters. That lady has tied Bhagavan to an achetana. What kind of mercy you must have on her, Krishna! And he fainted for 6 months. The commentary states, 6 months he didn't rise. When I'm saying, did I faint? I should have told you and I should have fainted. Then Suresh sir would have had a problem. Yen sir, hingag bitru yuru. Pattudai adiyavarkku eliyavan pirargalukariya vittagan, says Azhwar. Oh, he was tied to the mortar. Faint for 6 months. So the next line happened after 6 months. See, after Kantara 1, people were Hing Kantara 2 Bharate. Till then they were just shouting in their houses. Then Kantara 2 came. Right, likewise, Azhwar wrote the first line, fainted for 6 months. Then second line came after 6 months. Bad me, ini, todarum. So it happened. This Azhwar was the habit. Is it boring? No, this is a topic. I can't do anything. Now, Azhwar then realized, I told you, right, he was working remotely. Now he has to convey his message. 32 years back, we sent a message through pigeon. You remember? Kabutarja. This Azhwar sends his message through a bird in 4 places. It is called Tudu Pasuram. Amshiraya Madanarai Aliyattai Niyum nin Amshiraya Shevalumai Avaven Nenakkaruli Vemshiraya Pulluyartarku Yenvidududai Chennakal Avanshirayil Avanvaikil Vaipundal Yenseyumo. Then 6th decade, first Thiruvaimozhi, Thiruvanvandur, he sends one Tudu. Tudu means you have to send your message to Bhagavan through a messenger. That messenger mostly will be a bird, a bee, one hummingbird. Somebody has to take this message. Now that bird at the end of the day is an Indian bird. It will ask Azhwar, if I convey your message, what will I get in return? Azhwar says, Ponnulagaliro, Bhuvanamuludaliro, you will get Sri Vaikuntham and Ihalokam. You can rule. I will own all of it? Yes. Then it asked Azhwar, then where will you stay? If you give all the worlds to me. Then Azhwar said, see, you are a very generous bird. Won't you give me one 30 by 40 BDA site somewhere? I will stay there. Not near the tunnel road. Aravamude aidiye nudalam nin palan baye. So this is another part. This is a code pasuram. I'll tell you, this is a very important code. You know, when smuggling was very prominent in 60s, 70s in Bihar, all through news yesterday, right? So there'll be a code word, then only they will exchange. So this is a code pasuram, because in the 4,000 pasurams of the Azhwars, this was the only existing pasuram that survived in the 9th century. So, in the end of this compendium of verses, there is a line, Ayirathul ivai pattum, these 10 verses which are a part of 1000. So, one Acharya got worried. He said, 10 idhar hai. Where are the 990? He went in search and got one bonus offer, RD offer. He wanted 990, he got 3,990. He came with 4,000 pasurams. Right? See, at times what will happen is when I was in school days, at times when we are sure that we will get good marks and we have got a few marks less, we will give it for revaluation. You know, the irony of revaluation is you want to get more marks. Sometimes the invigilator will be so bad, they will reduce the existing marks and give. He wanted 990, he got 3,990. Now, as this Azhwar was a great Azhwar, he used to sit under a tamarind tree. But this Azhwar survived only for 32 years. First 16 years he didn't speak. Who made him speak? Now comes the 6th Azhwar in our lecture. He is the sweetest of the poet. See, in Tamil tradition, we have had poets who are named after Kishkindha Vanaras. Vali. There was a great poet in the Tamil tradition. But this Azhwar had the name Sweet Poet. His name itself was Sweet Poet. What is his name? Madhura Kavi. You're all experts. I think next time BVB will call you. இன்பத்தில் இறைஞ்சுதலில் இசையும் பேற்றில் இகழாத பல்லுறவில் ராகம் மாற்றில் தன் பற்றில் வினை விலக்கில் தகவோக்கத்தில் தத்துவத்தை உணர்த்துதலில் தன்மையாக்கில் அன்பர்க்கே அவதரிக்கும் ஆயன் நிற்க அருமறைகள் தமிழ் செய்தான் தாளே கொண்டு துன்பற்ற மதுர கவி தோன்ற காட்டும் தொல்வழியே நல்வழிகள் துணிவார்கட்கே. Vedanta Deshika sings the essence of the entire Prabandham. What was this Prabandham? Very interesting Prabandham, I'll tell you. Now this Azhwar Madhura Kavi was born a few kilometers away from Nammazhwar's place. He had gone on a darshan, on a spree to North India. While he came to the fields in the middle of the night, he saw one star bright enough. He thought, I've never seen this star before, and he started following the star. Following the stars will take you to another religion. This is following the star. Right? Tamil Nadu always follows a star. It will never elect normal people. So, this Azhwar was followed, the star. The star crossed Odisha, Telangana, Andhra, and reached Tamil Nadu. Where did it go? It went deep south. It went to a tamarind tree and vanished. Who is that star? Nammazhwar. So Madhura Kavi Azhwar spotted this Azhwar called Nammazhwar, who was seated, I told you, right, 2 minutes 30 seconds back. Till 16 years he didn't speak. Looking at this Azhwar, who was absolutely mum, Madhura Kavi Azhwar had a question for many days. Nobody would answer because, some people are born to ask questions. If you see them, you'll run away. Simply they will ask. Some students are there in the class. They will have no questions. Yet to prove that they are there, they are physically present, they will ask. So, people used to run away from Madhura Kavi. Beda. Nanna hatra kelbi. Yeno prashnene artha agilla. Amelene uttara helodu. So I didn't understand the question itself. So he used to ask, Settathin vayittil siriyadu pirandal ettaithinnu enge kidakkum. What does this mean? Settathin vayittil siriyadu pirandal ettaithinnu enge kidakkum. If inside the achetanam is a chetana, what will it eat as the jivatma? What is its nutrition and where will it stay? Will you ask this in a general conversation in your family? You're all having coffee. Oh, I would like to know, the Jivatma that's there within this body, what is its nutrition and where will it stay? Nobody will call you the next time. In coffee table, will you ask this question? This Azhwar felt that this is the only person who can answer. So he asked, Settathin vayittil siriyadu virandal ettaithinnu enge kidakkum. 16 years in his life, he never opened his eyes. For the first time, he opened and said, Adu attaithinnu ange kidakkum. It will eat its own karma, which is its nutrition, and will last there. Immediately Madhurakavi Azhwar fell prostrate at his feet and said, "You are my Acharya." And he became the scribe. What one small incident brought two great people together. So that is how Madhurakavi Azhwar became a scribe. This is the only Azhwar he had the audacity to not write on Bhagavan. All Azhwars wrote on Narayana. He didn't write on Narayana. He said, "I will write on the person who writes on Narayana." So he wrote on his Acharya, "Tambinal, Sirutambinal, Nun Sirutambinal, Kanninun Sirutambinal, Kattunna Panniya Perumayan." He talks about Krishna. Yen sir, ivagle ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, he won't write on God. He wrote on Krishna. And he said, that Krishna who was tied to the mortar with a useless rope by his foster mother Yashoda rests in the heart of my Acharya called Nammazhwar, so I will write on Nammazhwar only. He wrote only 10 pasurams. He became a super hit. Other Azhwars, they had to write 1000 pasurams. Ink got over. Many pens were used. This Azhwar wrote 10 pasurams, immediate super hit. Now, next comes another Azhwar. See, I have to go at a certain pace to complete. Then Nagalakshmi madam will come and scold me. They gave me 10 minutes late because of that live streaming, so I can use that 10 minutes. The seventh Azhwar is a king. He is from Kerala. The only one out of state. Kerala. So he was a king called Kulashekara. இன்னமுத மூட்டுகேன் இங்கேவா பைங்கிளியே தென்னரங்கம் பாடவல்ல சீர்பெருமான் பொன்னம் சிலர்ஷேர் நூதலியர் வேர் சேலலர்கோன் எங்கள் குலசேகரன் என்னே கூறு. So this Kulashekara was a great devotee of Bhagavan. He was a very good king. In those days, knowledge, education, administration used to be in a minister. So he was a great king. Now for him, the biggest achievement or probably the biggest ambition in his life was to go to Srirangam from Kerala, because you have to cross the Western Ghats and then come. So it was not an easy task. You know, in earlier days, in the early years of the 20th century also, many of the Malayalam speaking Astikas in Kerala never used to use most of the vegetables we know, because transportation was not easy. So they will use only 4 or 5 vegetables of Kerala. That is why most of the Ramayana will not go into Kerala, because crossing mountains was a task. So he had to cross the ghats to enter Srirangam. So his ministers used to say, pending cases tumba ide sir. ನೀವು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾತ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೊರಡು ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಇದು ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ವೇ. So they used to give him lots of work. So every morning he used to get up to go to Srirangam but could not go. So he wrote one Sanskrit work called Mukunda Mala. Gushyate yasya nagare rangayatra dine dine tamaham shirasam vande rajanam Kulashekaram. This Kulashekara Azhwar, sir, he was a Malayali alla. Then how did he write in Tamil? Malayalam will look like Tamil, but slightly different. How do you know this Azhwar was a Malayali who wrote in Tamil? Because he has a tinge of Malayalam in Tamil Pasuram. I knew you, he will say. In one of the Pasuram. Avade Malayalam undale. I knew you karinyalu. So, this Azhwar assumed the role of Kaushalya first, because he checked Rama's history. He was a lot attached to Rama. He looked at Rama's history and found that nobody put Rama to sleep. Rama used to ask Kaushalya, Mata, kuch lori gao na mere liye. She said, I'm out of practice. I can't sing. So Kulashekara Azhwar felt, ye kaisi maa hai? I will become Rama's mother, and he sang the first lullaby known in the Tamil tradition. Manpugal Kausalaitan Manivaitavane Tennilangaye Kon Mudigal Sindhuvithai Shemponsher Kanninan Madil Pudaishur கணபுரத்தின் கருமணியே என்னுடைய இன்னமுதே ராகவனே talelo. Immediately Rama said, "You are my best friend, Kulashekar. Manasilayo." So now this Kulashekar Azhwar's life is full of great incidents. One famous incident is this: Kulashekar Azhwar used to listen to the Ramayana every day. Kings used to listen to the Ramayana. Imagine Bharata Desham then, very prosperous. We have these days Rama in the name. Ramachandran, Rama Rao, Ramaya. They are all chief ministers. Whoever I said, they are all chief ministers. They all have Rama. Do they listen to Ramayana? We don't know. They used to listen. Kulashekar Azhwar used to listen to the Ramayana. There was a Upanyasaka. See, our profession is recession proof from those days. So one Upanyasaka used to deliver Ramayana to Kulashekar Azhwar. One day he took casual leave. He went somewhere. Or he took sick leave. He said, "Tomorrow I will fall ill, so I can't come." So he went away. Now this Azhwar was used to listening to the Ramayana. His ministers knew. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಖಂಡಿತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ರಾಮಾಯಣ ಪ್ರವಚಕ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅವು ಹರಿಕಥೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ವೇ ಅವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ದೇ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಅನದರ್ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕ, ಒನ್ replaceable, freelancer. That Upanyasaka came. He wanted to get permanent job with this king. So he was telling it with full emotion. Yenaitu gutte. That's all. He was telling this particular incident in the Ramayana where Sita was abducted. Prior to her abduction, there is one place where Shurpanakha goes and complains to her half-brothers called Karadushana and Trishiras in Janasthana. They come as a huge retinue of 14,000 Rakshasas with all the Pitaram. These are all instruments mentioned in the Ramayana. What all they used to carry. If you look at them, cycle chain, soda bottle is nothing. They came. Now, 14,000 Rakshasas. The other side, Rama is standing. One single person. So this Upanyasaka could have just bypassed that incident. He said, "Ee kade ondu Rama niltidane. Kade Rakshasa Sainya." He gave full emotion. What happened? Kulashekar Azhwar, to him, it appeared as if Ramayana was happening then. He said, "Now, call all the forces. We have to march towards Janasthana." He is narrating a old Ramayana incident, but Kulashekar Azhwar was living during the times. He couldn't fathom the very concept that this has already happened. How will you tell the king, "Sir, adu yavatto sir, ivagilla." How will you say? So he marched with the entire retinue towards Arabian Sea. This is there in the Guru Parampara. Now, people did not know where is Khara, where is Dushana, how will you stop? That is when, at that point in time, the old Upanyasaka came. "Oh, yako nin hingalla tumba emotion hakidiya." Wait, he said, "Rama, I just got one message." He looked at Kulashekara and said, "I got one message." What message? Rama has won over Karadushana, it seems. He is very safe in Janasthana. Hauda. Then he went back. So this Azhwar was so involved in Rama. Now, if you are involved in Rama, will Krishna leave? That is why he sang one set of pasurams as Devaki's melancholy. What is that Devaki's melancholy? Devaki saw her 6 children die. 7th one was a miscarriage. 8th one, Krishna was born. She couldn't feed him. He went to another place. His complete data was changed. Birth certificate was changed. Place of birth. Instead of Mathura jail, it was written Gokulam. Instead of being V Krishna, he became N Krishna. Now Devaki is feeling so bad that because every week Nandagopa would come and narrate what all Krishna would do to Vasudeva. One such incident is where Yashoda would make nice, fine, very creamy, very tasty curd rice. It's a curd rice ke ishtu description. Huh? I thought you were going to tell something like a brownie or something like that. No, curd rice. It should be creamy. It should have been mashed well. So Yashoda used to feed Krishna, it seems, and this boy, after taking half of what was fed to him, would take the remaining half and push it out of his mouth. That one Yashoda would take and put it in her mouth. That's all. Devaki started crying. Yen sir nan jivana. I produced a son called Krishna, and everything that he does is being enjoyed by another lady. Yaar sir avulu? Yashoda anta. So now Devaki, see, now everybody writes on point of view. Have you heard that? Now we don't write Ramayana. From the point of view, from the point of view of Duryodhana, what he did was right. If you write Duryodhana's angle, he'll say, haudu, naan madide, vastrapaharana madi, yen tappu sir, he will write. So from the point of view of Devaki, she started crying. Nee unda adisilil michal yashodayu nangai petru ponale. Oh, whatever you gave from your mouth, that lady Yashoda could eat. And look at your own mother. I have had no opportunity to see your pastimes, Krishna. This is one set of 10 pasurams. Then he talks about spoken about Divyadesham called Tiruchittirakoodam. If you go to Chidambaram, the greatest of Shivasthalams, you stand in one place, you can see two Rajas. Raja 1, Raja 2, Natraj and Govindraj. Right. Nataraja will be standing, Govindraja will be sleeping. That is why pencil was given the name Natraj. He is Govindraj, he is sleeping. திருச்சித்திரக்கூடந்தன்னுள் மிதிலை செல்வி உலகுய்ய திருவயிறு வாய்த்த மக்கள் செம்பவள திரள்வாய் தன் சரிதை கேட்டான் திருச்சித்திரக்கூடம் தன்னுள். So this Azhwars sang such great pasurams. This is Kulashekar Azhwar. This is Azhwar number 7. You should remember. Next, we are going to go to a duo. Father-daughter duo. Who is that? Here comes the hero. Periyazhwar. This Azhwar was a Brahmana. A very simple Brahmana who used to pluck flowers in his own Nandavatika and used to string beautiful garlands and would submit it to the lotus-like feet of a great Bhagavan called Vata Patra Shayi. Vada Verung Koyil Udayan. Sir, Sanskrit is so easy. Vata Patra Shayi. Vada Verung Koyil Udayan. He used to submit. Very simple life in Srivilliputturu when Palkova was not famous, Srivilliputturu, today Palkova, they say, that is only 70 years when Marwari came and made that Palkova. Everybody, Srivilliputturu, Palkova, that is 70 years, sir. So, Azhwar was in Srivilliputturu. Around that time in Madurai, there was a Pandya king who had organized a sabha because there was a conflict from Buddhists, from Jains. Who is the supreme god? Because for Bauddham and Jainam, there is no god, technically. So who is that god? You have to establish. Now Bhagavan came in the dream of Periyazhwar and said, Tum jao, Vishnuchit, tum jao. Vishnuchitta said, see, I have not crossed Srivilliputturu. I don't know which side is Madurai. How will I go? There is no Pallavan transport, buses. How will I go? He said, you go there and speak, you will get all that knowledge. So this Vishnuchitta went, stood before a beautiful golden casket filled with golden coins, which was supposed to be bestowed to the person who had the ability to convince the king of the supreme power. He went and spoke before that. All the Shastras came out of him with no reading before. Guru Mukham Anadhitya Prahavedana Seshan. He has not learnt. That is why I told you, Azhwars are very unique people. They didn't go to proper school, but they will get everything. Narapadi Parikliptam Shulgamata Atu Kamaha. How great was he? Later, Ranganatha will become his son-in-law. Imagine what will be the greatness, right? If Anjali's father comes, they'll say, are you Sachin's father-in-law? So, Shvashuram Amaravandyam Ranganathasya Sakshat. His son-in-law was Ranganatha. See, you can use that card everywhere. Gotta nan yaranta. I am Ranganatha's father-in-law in Delhi. Most of them will never adhere to traffic rules. If the policeman catches, they will ask, Nan tande yaranta gutta, pata hai ki mera baap kaun hai? He will say, you know who is my son-in-law? Shvashuram amaravandyam Ranganathasya sakshat. Ranganatha is his son-in-law. Dvijakula telakam tam Vishnuchittam namami. So he sang great pasurams. Now, towards the end of it, what happened? That golden casket broke. மின்னார் தடமதில் சூழ் வில்லிபுத்தூர் என்றொரு கால் சொன்னார் கடல் கமலம் சூடினோம் முன்னாள் கிழி அறுத்தான். Now this Pandya was so happy. He said, "You've spoken really well. You've spoken about the supreme power. I'm extremely impressed with you. Sit on the royal elephant and take a beautiful trip around the city of Madurai." In Madurai, less traffic. Today, if you go, there's only Jigardanda. There he went around the city. Looking at this Azhwar come on the elephant, Bhagavan came. He said, "Nam maga hogta inadu. Sri Devi al nodu." Purandaradasa says, "Siri Devi gelade munde." Without telling Siri Devi. See, Siri, Shri is Siri. Kanakadasa says, right? Aravinda dalanayana Krishna karugala sahita ಗೋಕುಲವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿರಿಗಾಗಿ ಎನಗಾಗಿ ಕೇಶವರಾಯ. ಸಿರಿ ಕಾಗಿ ನೆಲೆಯಾಗಿ. Siri Kaginele. Kaginele is the kshetra where Kanakadasa belonged to. Shri Kaginele. Siri Kaginele Yadi Keshavaraya. Siri. So he told Sri Devi, udhar dekho, hamara bachcha ja raha hai, he has achieved so much. Now this Azhwar looked at Bhagavan and thought, oh, he's so magnificent. What if others cast evil eyes on him and something happens to Bhagavan? Will somebody think like this? Most mothers and grandmothers, they will say, today people were just throwing bad eyes at you, so we have to do drishti to you. Paddhati idiya nim manenalli. Magu bandre drishti tagobeku. Nobody will be there to put drishti. Yet the mother feels the child is so special. ಯಾರಾದ್ ಏನಾದ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನಿದೆ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಅಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸಂಬಡಿ ಟು ಬಿ ಜೆಲ್ಲಸ್? ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಒನ್ ಮಿನಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವಿ ರಿಟನ್ ಪಾಸುರಮ್ಸ್? ಡು ವಿ ನೋ ಪಾಸುರಮ್ಸ್? ದೇ ಮೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಈವಿಲ್ ಐಸ್. ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇವರಿಗೆ ನೋಡು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದ ಈವಿಲ್ ಐಸ್. ಸೊ ಯೆಟ್ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ. ನೌ ದಿಸ್ Azhwar thinks somebody will cast evil eyes on Bhagavan. So he blesses Bhagavan. This is the only man in Hinduism who has blessed Bhagavan. Have you heard somebody blessing? He is blessed. பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம் மல்லாண்ட தின்தோள் மணிவண்ணா உன் சேவடி செவ்வி திருக்காப்பு அடியோமோடும் நின்னோடும். He says our friendship should last. பிரிவின்றி ஆயிரம் பல்லாண்டு. Then Lakshmi peeped, sir, நான் சார் வடிவாழ் நின் வலமார்பினில் வாழ்கின்ற மங்கையும் பல்லாண்டு. Let your wife also live happily. வடிவார் சோதிவலத்துறையும் சுடராழியும் பல்லாண்டு. Then Shangu Chakra, the weapons that Bhagavan carries. He said, you will also live long. Imagine somebody comes with a cycle chain. Cycle chain nannagi channagirbeku sir. He wanted Bhagavan to live happily. So he was called Periyazhwar. This Periyazhwar, one fine day while he was in his Nandavanam, he spotted a beautiful girl baby. He said, whose daughter is she? Is someone there? Nobody replied. His wife came and said, she is my daughter, and they picked her up. She was called Goda in Sanskritam, Kodai in Tamil. She is the one who ruled. The one who rules is called andal. Andal means the one who rules. Ulagu andal. Ulaga andal we say, right? Ulagu andal, rule. She is a sovereign power. How do we know that? See, all the Azhwars put together have sung 4,000 pasurams. But if you ask any normal Vaishnava, they'll know only Tirupavai. Because this lady's words were so strong. Those men, nobody observed. Nari Shakti. They have voted, right? So, now this little girl was nurtured by the father in a very good fashion. He used to tell great stories of Krishna. How did he tell? He sang pasurams. Now the father and daughter both were poets. Imagine living in such a family. Father is a poet, daughter is a poet, and you are an odd man out. What will you do? Nodtane irtira. He sang how Krishna was born. Vanna madangal shool tirukotiyur kannan keshavan nambi pirandinil எண்ணெய் சுண்ணம் எதிர் 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 தூவிட. People were so euphoric. They were so excited when Krishna was born. When was Krishna born? Dwapara Yugam. When is he singing Kali Yugam? Yen sir, time period, salpa adjust agod kashtal. Azhwar believed Krishna was born then. See, these people were living during Bhagavan's times. That is their thought. Now Krishna has to be put to sleep. Immediately somebody sent a message. Nam pakkat state to Kulshekra. ಹಾಡಿದಾನ್ರಿ ಅವನು ರಾಮನ್ಗೆ, ನೀವು ಹಾಡಲ್ವೇ? ಸೊ ಹಿ ಸ್ಯಾಂಗ್ ಒನ್ ಲಲ್ಲಬೈ ಫಾರ್ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ರಾಮ ಗಾಟ್ ಒನ್ ರೈಟ್, ಒನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕೋರ್. மாணிக்கங்கட்டி வைரமிடை கட்டி ஆணி பொன்னாசித வண்ண சிறு தொட்டில் பேணி உனக்கு பிரமன் விடு தந்தான் மாணிக்குரளனே தாலேலோ உடையார் கணமணியோடு ஒன்மாதுளம்பூ இடைவிரவி கோத்த எழில் தெழினோடு விடையேறு காபாலி ஈசன் விடு தந்தான் உடையாய் அழில் அழில் தாலேலோ உலகமளந்தானே தாலேலோ வையமளந்தானே தாலேலோ. He describes that cradle. See, if you go to the Pasurams, you will be wondering, they'll be describing about Bhagavan. First 4 lines only about the cradle. It is made with gold. On that there are these precious stones, the amethyst from Sri Lanka, the rubies of Myanmar, the opals of Australia, the sapphires from Anuradhapura. All this he will describe. Sir, yen sir, idu bari description tara ide manual. Last 2 lines he will take you to Vaikuntham. First 4 lines about cradle, he'll say if you do dhyana of this cradle, you will get Vaikuntham. You have got the idea? Now think of the cradle. Then he assumes the role of Yashoda, and Yashoda is calling Krishna to take bath. Yen sir, ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆಯೋದು ಒಂದು ಪಾಸುರಾನ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 10 ಪಾಸುರಮ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ನೀರಾಟಂ. ದ ಮದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸನ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಬಾತ್. வெண்ணை அளைந்த குடுங்கும் விளையாடும் புழுதியும் கொண்டு, ஓ மை டியர் சன், யுவர் பாடி இஸ் வெரி டர்ட்டி. தேர் இஸ் லாட் ஆஃப் பட்டர் ஆன் ஆல் சைட்ஸ், சம் மட் ஆன் அதர், இட் குட் பி அலுவியல் சாயில் பிகாஸ் இட் இஸ் யமுனா, ரைட்? வெண்ணை அளைந்த குனுங்கும் விளையாடும் புழுதியும் கொண்டு திண்ணை இவ்விரா உன்னை தேய்த்து கிடக்க நானோட்டேன், எண்ணெய் புளிப்பழம் கொண்டு எங்கே இப்போதிருந்தேன் நன்னலறிய பிரானே. மை டியர் சன், come and take bath. Why? Krishna used to ask, why should we take bath every day? He had a valid question. Right? Why should we take bath every day? We can save water, right? In California, in any house they'll go, they'll say, save water. How will we save? We don't have to take bath. That is when she said, I have a reason. Kya karan hai Yashoda Maya? In a few days, you will get married to my brother's daughter, Nappinai. If she gets to know that I have nurtured you as a son who doesn't have basic hygiene, she will laugh at me. At least to be the face saver for your mother, come and take bath. Nappinai kaanil shirikkum manikame maniye manjanamada nivara. 10 pasurams. But in the traditional Vaishnava Paddhati, we don't sing. If we sing like this, when will we complete? வெண்ணை அளைந்த குனுங்கும் விளையாடும் பொழுதியும் கொண்டு இதென்னை விரா உன்னை தேய்த்து கிடக்க நானோட்டேன், என்னை புளிப்பழங்கொண்டு எங்கே போதிருந்தேன் நன்னலறிய பிரானே நாரணா நீராடவாராய். Each mama will be competing to go fast. But the beauty of Azhwar Pasurams is generally, in my belief, when you sing, you will enjoy it better. Right? She's calling. If you call like this, which son will come and take? Nobody will come. My opinion. Now, this Periyazhwar nurtured his daughter. I told you, what were her names? I told you 3. Kodai, Goda, Andal. Very good. Now, Vedanta Deshika wrote one stotra on her. It is called Goda Stuti. Shri Vishnu Chitta Kulanandana Kalpavalli Shri Rangaraja Hari Chandana Yoga Drishyam Sakshat Kshamam Karunaya Kamalami Vanyam Godamananya Sharanaha Sharanam Prapadye. I prostrate to that Andal, who is a beautiful, lushful, green creeper that is tied to the effervescent and the fragrant sandalwood tree called Rangaraja, that is being nourished and nurtured in the garden of the mind of Vishnu Chitta. That's the beauty. This is how translation will be. If you look at translation books, oh, andal, the one who looks like the creeper. Now we have to search that creeper in that shloka. Shri Vishnu Chitta Kulanandana Kalpa Valli. Valli is that creeper. Now this girl was a superstar. When she was a little girl, she was taken on an excursion by her father to a place called Alagar Kovil, Tirumalirunjolai. What is it famous for? What prasadam? Sakkar Pongal. Adu namma Kote Srinivasa. Adu dosai. See, recently when I had been there, the butler is known to me. He said, you please come inside the kitchen, the temple kitchen. The vessel is made in gold. And it has about 3 feet of ghee. In that you have to take 700.7 liters of dosa batter and pour it at one go. What comes will be a dosa which will be a few inches deep. It will be within that ghee fried for about 45 minutes. That is why we call that Bhagavan as Mokshadata. Sindura Shempodi Pol Tirumalirunjolai Engum Indira Gopangale Ezhundu Paranditta Navam Mandara Nati Endru Madura Kodusharu Kondu Sundara Toludayan. That Bhagavan, Andal gives a name. He was originally called Sundar Raja. She said, I will give you a name. He said, Dedo, I like you, Andal. Give me whatever name. Mr. Shoulder. Sundara Toludayan. He is called the one with handsome, broad shoulders. Generally, gym, they will do that, right? They'll keep doing and they'll try to extend their arms. I never go. Anyway, now, broad shoulders. Sundara Toludayan. Now, Andal is a typical Indian. For her purpose, she will pray. What did she pray? She said, I need to marry Ranganatha of Sri Rangam. This Bhagavan got a bit upset. Mujhse nahi, nahi. Mujhse shaadi karoge. There is one movie. He said, nahi. I want to marry Ranganatha. But in Indian tradition, you generally offer something to Bhagavan. That's our business transaction, right? She said, I will give you 100 pots full of fresh butter. 100 pots filled with akkara vadishil. Akkara vadishil is thickened chakra pongal with loads of milk and tons of ghee. That's called akkara vadishil. She said, I'll give you 100 pots. Naru narum polil malirunjolai nambikku naan nooru anta heltivi alve Kannada. You can understand Tamil very easily. Nooru tadavil vennai vaayil nendi paravi vaithen. Nooru tadda nirainda akkara vadisil sonnen. Akkaram. What is akkaram? You're all experts, yenu. Very good. Jaggery. Akkaram means jaggery. Akkara vadisil sonnen yeru thiruvudayan vandi vaikkollum kolo. Now, she did not tell this to her father. Then the father will say, where will I get you married to Ranganatha ji? If everyone starts telling, I'll marry Kote Srinivasa, ISKCON Krishna, then parents will be worried. Like she didn't disclose this to her father. Meanwhile, she saw one little bird and she said, go tell my love to Bhagavan. She sent one message. She looked at the clouds like Meghadutam of Kalidasa. Vinnila melapu viritar pol mehangal tennir vai vengadatten tirumalum pondane. Go, I see you clouds going towards Tirupati. Tirupati Srinivas ko bolo ki I love him a lot. This took a diversion and went to Chittur. Then she said, I will talk to the love God. Why should I ask these people, I will talk to love God. She is in Tamil Nadu. How can she bypass Maran? So Maran means love God. So she wrote a letter to Maran. தையொரு திங்களும் தரை விளக்கீற்றி தன் மண்டலமிட்டு மாசி முன்னாள் ஐயனுன் மலர் கொண்டு தெருவணிந்து அழகினிற் கலங்கரித்த அனங்க தேவா. Ananga Deva means the one who doesn't have angam, kama. அனங்க தேவா உயவு மாங்கோலோ என்று சொல்லி உன்னையும் உம்பியையும் தொழுதேன் வெய்யதோர் தழலுமிழ் சக்கர கை வேங்கடவர் கெம்மை விதிக்கிற்றியே. Then she constructed a sand castle. You know, if you go to that Puri beach, that there'll be one person doing sand castles. So she did one castle. She said, I am constructing this castle so that I can stay with my Krishna here. Namamayiram yetanindra நாராயணா நரனே உன்னை மாமி தன் மகனாக பெற்றாள் எமக்கு வாதை தவிருமே காமன் போதர் காலமென்று பங்குனி நாள் கடை பாரித்தோம் தீமை செய்யும் சிறிதரா எங்கள் சிற்றில் வந்து சிதையேலே. Then she said, Krishna, I will not talk to you. Huh? Whom will you talk to? I will talk to somebody who knows you well. Who knows me well? Panchajanya. The Shankam. Because no weapon of Bhagavan has the audacity to touch his lips. Can he keep Sudarshana here? Can he keep Sharngam here? No. The only instrument that is allowed near his lips is the conch. So he asked, Panchajanya, हाँ, इधर हूँ. बोलो कि भगवान का स्मेल कैसा है, उसका टेस्ट कैसा है. Because this is Shringaram, right? See, that is the Shringaram. That is why she says, Karpuram Naramo. Does he smell? How is his breath? See, in Ramayana, in Sundarakandam, there is one shloka out of Shringaram that Rakshasis, they were so drunk in the night. They had mead. Mead is fermented honey liquor. They wanted to smell Ravana's mouth. But since they were so drunk, they ended up smelling another Rakshasi's mouth. Valmiki says that. Now she wants to ask, how does he smell? Karpuram Narumo. Does he smell like camphor, edible camphor? Kamalapu Narumo. Does he smell like the lotus? Tirupavala Shavaitan tit 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 irukumo. Does he taste like badam cake? Does he taste like kajaya? Does he taste like putarekulu? How does he taste? You have to tell Panchajanya. Tit tit irukumo. Marupu osita madhavantan. வாய்ச்சுவையும் நாற்றமும் விரிப்புற்று கேட்கின்றேன் சொல்லாழி வெண்சங்கே. Oh, white conch reply. Now, she had a dream to marry Bhagavan. The beauty is, Andal is one of the persons who remembers her dreams clearly. Do we remember? First of all, do we get good dreams? Do we dream of something auspicious? It will appear as if we are jumping from a mountain. We are giving physics paper. Caught in Silk Board Junction. These will be our dreams. Not worth to even remind ourselves. She had a great dream. Varanamayiram Shuravalam Seidu Naranan Nambi Nadakindran Yalredir Purana Porkudam Vaitu Puramengum Toranam Natakana Kandin Torinan. Oh, my dear friend, next house, old number 18, new number 11. My dear friend in the next house, I had a dream. What dream? Hele, Andal? Yen Swapna Hele. I had a dream as if Narayana is walking. Later, he held my hand. Later, he put my foot on the grinding stone. What did he do? He made attached to one ring from Kushals. He put a ring. What else did he do? He went along with me around the fire. What did he do? He put vermilion on my forehead. What did he do? We gave good food to everybody and sent them back home. So now Andal expresses her love through adorning herself with the mala that was to be presented to Bhagavan. Father noticed, he said, "What are you doing, Andal? We cannot give used malas." That night Bhagavan appeared and said, "I like only used malas of Andal." See, that is very important. Somebody wrote to me, "Sir, can I also wear and give?" So he made it very specific. I'll wear the Andals by Andal only, no star above that. You know, in shops they'll put one star above 50, up 2 will be below. So not like that. He said, "I like wearing only." Then both Azhwars said, "Whom do you want to marry?" She said, "I would like to marry Ranganatha of Srirangam." He took her there. Then it is believed that they became a divine couple. So she has given us another work. That is the most famous work in Nilnal. It is a compendium of 30 pasurams called Tiruppavai. How important is this? The person who wrote a testimonial to this work says, if you do not know the 30 pasurams, you should not live on earth. Think about it. ஐயைந்தும் ஐந்தும் அறியாத மானிடரை வையம் சுமப்பதும் வம்பு. Those pasurams are referred to as Tirupavai. மார்கழி திங்கள் உந்து மத களிற்றன் ஓடாத தோல்வலியன் கூடாரை வெல்லும் சீர் வங்க கடல் கடைந்த. Over. Tirupavai is over. Now we have to go to the next Azhwar. Azhwar number? Stand up on the bench. 12, 13, I will leave now. First 3, Poigai Azhwar, Bhudat Azhwar, Pei Azhwar. Tirumalizai Piran, Nammazhwar, Madurakavi. Over. Kulashekara, Keralam, 7. Periyazhwar, Andal. Now 9, this is the 10th. This Azhwar had a very interesting name. If you want to call your grandson, you can use his name. Tondar Adipodi. What is that, sir? We have heard of Molgapudi. What is this Tondar Adipodi? Now this Tondar Adipodi's original name was Vipranarayana. So he was born in a small hamlet called Mandangudi. Mandangudi enbar Mamarayor Manniyasir Tondaradipodi Tonnagaram. That is by the river Kaveri near Swamimalai. This Tondaradipodi Azhwar's only ambition in his life was to go to Srirangam. Many of them will say, if you go to university, I would just like to go to Arizona. I would love to go to Kellogg's. But he's not allowing now. One person in the US says, you don't come. Why should we go there? We will go to Srirangam. Madiyadar Talaivasal Midiyade என்று மானமுள்ள மனிதனுக்கு அவ்வை சொன்னது அது அவ்வை சொன்னது அர்த்தம் உள்ளது says Kannadasan. Now, this Azhwar, Vipranarayana, in his Charitram, there are 1 or 2 incidents which many acharyas agree, many disagree. That is, there was a Devadasi called Devadevi. He had a little affair with her. All this is there, but my acharyas have denied all that. Because these Azhwars were above all that. We should not make them one local story. Right? So, this Azhwar gave us 2 prabandhams. Remember, Mudalanda Tiruvandadi, Rendam Tiruvandadi, Mundram Tiruvandadi. Tirumalizai Piran gave 2. Nanmugan Tiruvandadi and Tiruchandaviritam. Nammazhwar gave 4. Tiruviritam, Tiruvasiriyam, Periya Tiruvandadi, Tiruvaimozhi. Then came Madurakavi Azhwar, 1 prabandham called Kanninun Siruthambu. Then came the 7th Kulashekara Azhwar who gave us 1 prabandham called Perumal Tirumozhi. 8th and 9th, Periyazhwar gave 1 prabandham called Periyazhwar Tirumozhi, and Andal gave 2 prabandhams called Nachiyar Tirumozhi and... Very good. Now, the 10th Azhwar is Tondar Adipodi Azhwar. He gave us 2 prabandhams. First one is a wake-up call. What is that wake-up call? This wake-up call is unique. It has no snooze. Every alarm has snooze, right? This doesn't have a snooze. It is called Tirupalli Ezhuchi. This name itself, many Tamil people cannot get. Enna sir sonnar avuru? Tirupalli Ezhuchi. Poi avade. கதிரவன் குணதிசை சிகரம் வந்தடைந்தான் கனவிருள்ளது காலயம் பொழுதாய் மது விரிந்தொழுகின மாமலரெல்லாம் வானவரரசர்கள் வந்து வந்தீண்டி எதிர்த்திசை நிறைந்தன இவரொடும் புகுந்த இருங்களிற்றீற்றமும் பிடியொடு முரசும் அதிர்ந்ததில் அலைக்கடல் போதுளதெங்கும் அரங்கத்தம்மா பள்ளி எழுந்தருளாயே. He sings a wake-up call for nobody else but Ranganatha. This Azhwar has the audacity to say, I will not sing on anybody. He did not go out of Srirangam. He sang only on Sri Ranganatha. How is that Ranganatha? What a description he gives. He says, when you look at the reclining Lord of Srirangam on the serpent couch, he looks like a blemishless emerald mountain. Pachai ma malai pol meni. How are his lips? It appears as if the coral reeds from the Great Barrier Reef were taken, grounded and made into a fine paste. Pavala vai. How do his eyes look? It appears like the petals of a large lotus that has naturally blossomed to the rays of the rising sun. Kamala Chenkan. Who is he? The one who doesn't betray us. Achyuta. Who is he? The one worshipped by Devas. Amararere. Who is he? He is also the one accessible to the cowards. Ayartham Kolunde. Who is he? The one who is in Srirangam. What would you like to do to him? Be with him. Would you like to go to Vaikuntham? No. You don't want Vaikuntham? Yes. You want Srirangam? Yes. இச்சுவை தவிர யான் போயிந்திரலோகம் ஆளும் அச்சுவை பெரினும் வேண்டேன். Oh, you like Srirangam so much? Do you have a house? Yes. Have you bought it? Yes. What do you get here? Good vegetables. Srirangam is very famous for vegetables. I will live here. Why should I go elsewhere? பச்சை மாமலை போல் மேனி பவளவாய் கமல செங்கண்ணச்சுதா அமரரேரே ஆயர்த்தம் கொழுந்தே என்னும் இச்சுவை தவிர யான் போய் இந்திர லோகமாளும் அச்சுவை பெரினும் வேண்டேன் அரங்கமா நகர் அருளானே. Why will I go to some other place? Sir, you want to come to Outer Ring Road? Dot flat kursvi sir beda. You want to go to Silkport Junction? I will go to Vaikuntham. Azhwar says. Now, this Azhwar gave us two prabandhams. I gave you one sample. Next came another Azhwar. He is the 11th Azhwar called Tiruppan Azhwar. What is he famous for? In those days society, his community was not generally allowed inside the temple. He belonged to the Panar community. He was on the other side of Kaveri in a place called Urayur or Koliyur, the erstwhile capital of the Cholas. He wanted to have a darshan of Bhagavan. He couldn't come. It is believed that there was a little altercation between him and the temple priest, and the temple priest was told by Bhagavan, bring that Azhwar. You have committed a grave mistake by hurting a devotee of his caliber. Bring him here. The priest said, how should I bring? Carry him on your shoulders. We have heard of Simha Vahanam, Pedda Sesha Vahanam, Chikka Sesha Vahanam, Surya Prabha, Chandra Prabha, Garuda Vahanam. This is new Vahanam called Muni Vahanam. So this priest goes and carries the Azhwar all the way from Urayur to Srirangam. Now, after coming to the temple, after seeing Bhagavan Ranganatha for the first time, Tiruppan Azhwar should have technically sung. He started singing from his journey of Urayur itself. By the time he reached the temple, his Atma reached Vaikuntham. Kattave kandapada kamanalladai undidettar udarabandam. See, how did he sing then? Without seeing Bhagavan, how did he sing? Because Bhagavan came and said, Tiruppan Azhwar, can you see my legs? Sing on them. Can you see my thighs? Sing on them. Can you see that navel? Sing. Can you see my chest? You're able to see Tiruppan Azhwar? See. Lakshmi is here. Yeah. Can you sing? Yes. Can you see my face? See. Sing on that. Can you see the crown? Yes. Have you sing on everything? You have not missed any. Ek baar check karo. You have double check. You have sang on everything. Yes. That's all. He got moksha. That Pasuram set is called Amalanadi Piran. அமலநாதி பிரானடியார் கெம்மை ஆட்படுத்திய விமலன் விண்ணவர் கோன் விடையார் பொழில் வேங்கடவன் விமலன் நிம்மலன் நீதிவானவன் நீள் மதில் அரங்கத்தம்மான் திருக்கமல பாதம் வந்து என் கண்ணின் உள்ளன ஒக்கின்றதே. Those feet that are as delicate as the petals of a newly blossomed lotus in the water lilies is coming into my eyes. Oh, that navel from which I see Brahma, who sits like a bee atop the lotus flower, he comes into my eyes. Those large eyes, he says, it starts, it gets expanding further, it goes long. Kadiyavagi pudai barand milirndu shavvariyodi nee. Eyes should go that long. பெரியவாய கண்கள் எம்மை பேதமை செய்தனவே. The temple priests were ready to welcome the Azhwar. As he was getting inside the temple, he had a vision of Krishna. How was that Krishna? That Krishna had put his hand into a butter pot. Azhwar was seeing Krishna. He quietly put that butter and applied it on his face. He was new to theft. He had left some evidence. Generally, how do we see in movies? They will take one kerchief and then use it. Their fingerprints should not be there. This, he was getting used to it. He was in training, probation period, Krishna. So he had butter all over. Then Yashoda comes and asks, who took that butter? He opened, I don't know. She was looking, hey, the butter is on your face. கொண்டல் வண்ணனை கோவலனாய் வெண்ணை உண்டவாயன் என்னுள்ளம் கவர்ந்தானை அண்டர்கோன் அணியரங்கன் என்னமுதினை கண்ட கண்கள் மற்றொன்றினை காணாவே. When I've had a vision of Krishna whose lips and the vicinity is full of butter, will I think of anybody else or anything else? He said, and that minute he was in Vaikuntham. Vedanta Deshika says, காண்பனவும் உரைப்பனவும் மத்தொன்னின்றி கண்ணனையே கண்டுரைத்த கடிய காதல் பான் பெருமாள் பாடியதோர் பாடல் பத்தும் பழமறையின் பொருள் என்று பரவுகின்றோம் வேண்பெரிய விரிதிரை நீர் வையத்துள்ளே வேதாந்த ஆரியன் என்று இயம்ப நின்றோம் நாம் பெரியோமல்லோம் நாம் நன்றும் தீதும் நமக்குரைப்பார் உளர் என்று நாடுவமே. He says in his grand commentary called Munivahana Bhogam. This Azhwar's life is short. Next comes the most eventful Azhwar. This Azhwar will threaten you. Valvel yendum. He has got one sword. He is not a simple person. Hengidiro. He is not that person. If you go in certain buses, they will crush your feet. You go in metro. Majestic, there is one change. If you go in that metro, you have to go 3 levels. Atala, Vitala, Sutala. 3rd Loka. That time you have to get inside that metro. Be there at about 9:15. There is one train that goes in that purple line. You go there. They will crush you. That person would have pressed and then, sorry sir. What will you do? Parvagilla sir. Innun sati maadbidi. So we are all very generous. The 11 Azhwars we have discussed till now are very merciful. They are like that. Parvagilla sir. This 12th Azhwar you have to be careful. Yen madide? Baili. Show your leg now. He may press your leg again. He is that kind of Azhwar. Very strong. Nobody can dare go near him. His name is Tirumangai. He has a horse. Most other people, they didn't have their own transport. He had a horse. That horse was called Adalma. This Azhwar sang 6 prabandhams. பெரிய திருமடல், சிறிய திருமடல், திருநெடுந்தாண்டகம், திருக்குறுந்தாண்டகம், திருவழுக்கூற்றிருக்கை. சார் ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ? ಏನೇನೋ ಇದು ತಮಿಳ, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಥಾಯ್ ಭಾಷೆನಾ, ಯಾವುದಿದು? திருவழுக்கூற்றிருக்கை. That is the 5th prabandham. 6th is very easy. பெரிய திருமொழி. Now, this Azhwar was a chieftain in the Chola lineage. Once he went to a place called the White Pond, Vellakulam, Thiruvellakulam, that is near Sirgali. There he saw a beautiful woman, a damsel in Apsaras walking from the waters, and he fell in love. Normal love story. He went and proposed to this lady, and he said, "You look very pretty, woman. I would like to marry you." She said, "Ask my parents." She was a very traditional girl. Papa, mama se baat kar lo. He went to the papa, mama. They said, "You talk to my daughter." Yen saridu. If I ask the girl, she said, "Talk to the parents." Went to. He went and asked the girl, "Are you ready to marry me? What's your name?" "Kumuda." "Mujhse shaadi karogi, Kumuda?" Kumuda said, "I will do on 2 conditions. First, you have to go to an acharya and get samashrayanam, pancha samskara. I will make you an Iyengar. Second, you have to feed 1,000 people every day. First, there should be 1,000 people. See, 20, 30 years back, I remember. Many of you are elder to me, some of you my parents' age. In the yesterdays, if food would remain in the house, in the night there used to be certain people called Ra Pichakara. They will come and take that food. Today, nobody. We are the Ra Pichakara. Whatever food remains, we have to eat. Right? Who will eat? It will come to us 3-4 days, the same food will come. In different varieties it will come. So, he said 1,000 people should eat. Where will you first find 1,000 people? This man was madly in love with Kumuda. He said, "Theek hai." First, it is a very costly process. 1,000 people you have to feed every day. Imagine how much you must earn. How much your mutual funds should give you returns. 15% average only you will get. What should be your capital? Now he started using the funds of the government treasury. "Sir, can we use it like that?" "Yes, we give buses now. Electricity, water, bus, train, everything we give. We don't have to work at all. We'll all be at home. Everything will come to us for free. We will become Viksit Bharat in 25 years in this stage. Nobody has to earn anything. Electricity free, water free. In Delhi, air will make you free." That is Sahasranamam. AQI is 1,000 in Delhi. You will see Vaikuntham from there. Now, this Azhwar married Kumuda. But he needed wealth. It was just depleting and diminishing. One day he spotted a young couple being married, and they were Bhima, Abharan, Abhushan. They were having all that jewelry. So they were walking by that place. So he started stealing. He became a robber. Now, as he was collecting the jewelry, he couldn't lift them. Then he spotted one ring in that man's toe. He wanted to bite and take it. He bit and he tried taking, it didn't come. That time, this person said, "What black magic have you done?" That man who was the groom was dark. "What black magic have you done?" That man said, "I am black. I am the magic. Come here." And he gave Ashtakshara mantra upadesham. Ashtakshara mahamantrada namava Narayana. Kulam tarum selvam tandidum adiyar padutuyarayinavellam Nilam tarum seyyum neel vishumbarulum arulodu perunilamalikum Valam tarum matrum tandidum petra tayinum seyyum Nalam tarum sollai naan kandu konde Narayana 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 Vennum namam Narayana Ninna namada. See, in Olympics they will pass the baton, right? Tirumangai Azhwar passed the baton. Purandaradasa said Narayana. They were all great friends. Now this Azhwar had to continue. He has promised Kumuda he will collect money. Then he went to Nagapattinam. This is a big controversial issue. He went to Nagapattinam. Pattinam means smart city, where there is a payment for people to walk. If you read Sundarakandam once in your life, you read Sundarakandam of Valmiki, you will start feeling why we are paying taxes. If you look at Lanka's description, You will fall in love with Ravana's Lanka. You won't mind having Ravana as your ruler. So very well planned and administered. If we have that Lanka, the way Hanuman describes Lanka is magnificent. He describes Ravana's bed, 11 shlokas. You describe your bed. Not even one line we will get. He describes 11 shlokas exclusively for Ravana's bed. Imagine how many shlokas for the bedroom, how much for the palace, how much for the city. Sundarakandam is lavished. When this Tirumangayalvar sings, he has sung close to 1270 pasurams overall. When he describes the city, he will talk about that lake. That lake has so many areca trees. From that areca trees, the leaf will fall. People will collect the leaves and go. Then there will be swans in the different corners of the city. Imagine, just see his imagination. You have to appreciate that. Swans, hamsas used to be in the corner of the street, it seems. They never used to walk. Why were they waiting? He noticed. The swans were waiting for the women of Nachiyar Kovil to walk. They wanted to learn how to walk from the women. Women didn't learn from Hamsas. Hamsas used to learn. Why? Because it is Nachiyar Kovil. If you are somewhere near Chola Desham, women are very strong. So the way he describes that the prosperity, you will fall in love with Tamil. When Tirumangayalvar describes, you will fall in love. There is one incident I'll tell you. It is from Siriya Tirumadal. There is one lady who is in love with Bhagavan. As usual, all our pasurams full of love for Bhagavan. I told you, remember? At about 5:25, I told you, Kangulum Pagalum Kantui Lariyal. Today, this place, I told you. Similarly, this lady, that lady is Parankusha Nayaki. This is Parakala Nayaki. This Parakala Nayaki is in love with Bhagavan. She's too young to even express her love. She was feverish. She couldn't move. Her mother spotted her and she said, I'm so worried for my daughter. What has happened to my daughter? There she calls an astrologer. The lady who would look at the palm and read your history. The palmistry. So she was called. That lady came. That lady said, first, see, in some of the services, they will always take the money first. In certain services, in the middle of the service, they will take. If you go to Varanasi, you go in the boat, they will never take money in the start. They will take it while the boat is in the middle of Ganga. Kitna dena hai bhaiya? 2000. 2000! 2000 बहुत ज्यादा है. हमारे कावेरी में उतना हम नहीं देते हैं. सर, जल नहीं है उधर. यहां गंगा में है. कितना दोगे? 1500 last price. Like how we bargain in Avenue Road, we will say last price. Appa ningu beda, nangu beda. 1500 last. He will ask you, तैरना आता है? Do you know to swim? What do we know? Nothing. 2500 he will ask. So, services. Here this lady who has come to read palmistry says, you give me my dakshina first. So that mother to the deceased, the girl who was suffering, gave her rice, grains. Then this lady who has come starts reading the palm of the girl. She says, oh! The mother asks, what happened? There is a big disease that has got your daughter. What disease? That man with 1,000 names has caused this disaster in your daughter. Oh, where is he? I'm worried. He is now sporting a garland of tulsi leaves. That's his identity. Whatever I've said is in the Pasuram. Karar kudal kondai kattuvichi katteri Sirar Sulakil Shila Nel Piditeria Vera Vidira Meisilira Kaimova. Who is that? Pera Iramudayan Yendral Perteyum. Then that mother asked, proof. Where is the proof? See, your daughter has turned dark. Karar tirumeni kattinal. This is how the Pasuram has to be sung. But I told you, Arar Kodal Kondai Kattavichi Katteri, Jira Judakil Jalanel Blediteria, Vera Vidir Vidira, Maimjila Gaimova, Vera Iramudaya, Nyenral, Peteyum Karar Tirumeni Kattinal. Because we have to finish, like how I have to finish now, I'll finish. Because Nagalakshmi ma'am will come. I have to finish. Now, this Azhwar sang, this is called Siriya Tirumadal. There is another Tirumadal called Periya Tirumadal. See, there is a big philosophy on what is Tirumadal, what is Madal. That itself is a big topic of discussion. Now, let's keep that aside. Assume that I know and I am assuming you know. Now, this Azhwar so single-handedly sang over 80 temples. This Azhwar, because he had a horse, he could go everywhere. Wherever he went, he saw a temple, 10 pasurams. That Bhagavan will catch, okay, 10. If he's a lot more interested, 50, else 100. Now he had to get Samashrayanam. You remember I told you some time back, his wife insisted you have to become Mr. Iyengar, you have to become Tirumangai Iyengar, then only I'll marry you. Yenma ippi solre nee. So, generally in the Kannada-based Vaishnava Bhasha, van pankon pono. He had horse pankon pono. He had horse. He manufactured horse and went. Now, this Azhwar went to a Divyadesham called Nachiyar Kovil. Have you heard of Nachiyar? You put it on Google, it will show you. This Nachiyar Kovil he went and used his knife and threatened Bhagavan, do Samashrayanam. Will anybody do this? This Azhwar is capable of doing. Bhagavan said, okay, pa, show your shoulders, chachak, chachak. He said, I am giving you 100 pasurams, take it. So in that he says, after that he had to learn the meaning of this mantra. Then he went to another Divyadesham called Tirukkannapuram. There Bhagavan was very careful. He didn't allow him to use the knife at all. You want meaning, right? I will teach you. Good, lesson learned. Then he sang the grandeur of that Bhagavan. Silayilangu ponnali tinpadai tandrun shangam yenginnalal Malayilangu tol nange mattavanukke yetrekan yenginnalal Mulayilangu poompayale munbodi anbodi irukkinnalal Kalayilangu mozhiyalar kannapuratammanai kandalhalo. Can't you see my Tirukkannapuram Bhagavan? He says, Minnuma Magarakundalangal Vilvishum Yenginnalal Kalayilangu Mozhiyalar Kannapuratammanai Kandalhalo. When that Bhagavan comes walking on the street with those diamonds that have been studded on his fish-shaped earrings that are being dangling on both his ears, it looks as if 1,000 suns were smelted together in Tirukkannapuram, he says. So, then, he had to bring philosophy. See, there is so much philosophy. I am just telling you the superficial meaning. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. I have to tell one or two things from philosophy, then only you will call me a Vidwan. See, in grammar, there is a rule called Samanadhikaranyam. Bhinna pravritti vrittanam shabdanam ekasmin artham pratipadyate iti Samanadhikaranyam. That's the rule of Panini. Different activities associated with one substratum is called as Samanadhikaranyam. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. The one who doesn't have karma like us. See, we are all born as a result of karma. While suffering because of karma, we do karma. So this karma that we do will be the cause of another karma. You're able to get karma is one mad cycle. But he doesn't have that karma. So he's called Satya. Our knowledge has expansion and contraction. Sankocha Vikasam. Sankocha Vikasam means maybe 2 janmas before we were all very well-read people. But do we remember the janma? No. Are we well-read in this janma? Surely I don't know. Do we remember what we have learned? Don't know. So, he has got jnanatvam, we don't have. He has satyatvam, we don't have. He has got jnanatvam, we don't have. Anantatvam, we can be here, but we can't be at home. We cannot be at two different places at the same time. Right? But he has the ability. Anantam. Who is he? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Nanda, Vilakke, Alartarkariyai, Naranarane. Exact translation of that Taittiriya Upanishad passage. Exact. So then this Azhwar goes all the way to Muktinath, Nepal. He had very good relation with the Gen Z of Nepal. Then he sings about a Divyadesham called Tiruyavvalur. If you go to Chennai, 1 hour before Chennai, after Arakonam, you will come across this Divyadesham called Tiruvallur. Now today people assume this has got to do with Tiruvalluvar. There is no connection between Tiruvalluvar and Tiruvallur. This is Tiruyavvalur, which became in the complicated names nobody can read. You know what is the name of the place when you book a ticket to Kadalur? Have you heard of Kadalur? What will be the name of the station? Tirupadiripuliyur. It will be very tough. That is why Kadalur. So, this Azhwar, he sings about Tiruyavvalur. Kasayadi moodi vodi kadal seidanavanur. Nasamaga nambavalla nambinam peruman. Yesaninna peruman yavvul kidandane. Oh, that Rakshasa called Ravana abducted Sita and he ran behind her, chasing her and chasing this man. Rama constructed a bridge and sent him off to the place from where he came. That Rama wanted to rest and came to Tiruvallur. Kasayadi moodi vodi kadal seida navanur rasamaga nambavalla yesanina yavvul kidandane. Now, this Azhwar I told about Nagapattinam. See, in Nagapattinam, he wanted to get wealth because then only he can feed 1,000 people. So, he had to get wealth. What was the easiest way to engage in a debate? What was the pond was to Buddha's gold statue. Whoever wins gets that statue. He won the debate, he got that gold statue, he came, he buried it under the sands because the Buddhists started following him. He kept it under the sands, buried it under the shade of a tree. The next morning, the farmer who owned the land came and said, "This is my land." Azhwar had to manage because the farmer doesn't know that the gold statue is below. He said, "This land belongs to me." Are you waqfed? Yes, sir. Ee land nimdilla nim patra idiye. No, that and all will deal. Amendment has just now come. We will deal with it. Yes, sir. Yav nodidre nodo land alla nimdu anta helta idira. Are you the son-in-law of a great person running a reality company? ನೋಡೋದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. The documents are in Srirangam. Poor farmer, he said, "I will go to the magistrate court here and apply." So this case was unresolved because he said the documents are with me. The farmer said, "I will go to the court." Till now it is not resolved. So this case in Tamil is called Tola Valakku. Tola, not Tola. Tola means tolvi adayada. Tola Valakku. Kaya Magil. From that day onwards, nothing flowered in the tree. Ura Kinaru. People refused to give him water, so there is no water in that well in the Tirukannangudi Divyadesham. Ura Kinaru. Kaya Magil. Ura Kinaru. Uranga Puli. Tola Valakku. Now this Azhwar had 4 assistants in robbery. Neermel Nadappan. Nidal Odunguvan. Tal Uduvan. You know, one robber was very talented. Even if he blows, the lock will break, it seems. Tal Uduvan. Neermel Nadappan. Nidalil Odunguvan. They were all the assistants. Kabali, Segar, Ravi. They were all the assistants. Now this Azhwar sang 6 prabandhams. In that, he went to this Nagapattinam Divyadesham. Nagapattinam, you know what is Bhagavan called? Soundara Raja. Very handsome. His name itself is Mr. Handsome. So he sings, பொன்னிவர் மேனி மரதகத்தின் பொங்கிளம் சோதி அகலத்தாரம் மின்னிவர் வாயில் நல்வேதம் ஓதும் வேதியர் வானவர் அவர் தோழி என்னையும் நோக்கி என் நல்குலும் நோக்கி என் இளங்கொங்கையும் நோக்குகின்றார் அன்னே என் நோக்கும் அஞ்சுகின்றேன் அச்சோ அச்சோ ಅಚ್ಚೋ ಒರುವರ್ ಅಳಗಿಯವಾ ಅಚ್ಚೋ. ಇದು ಸಂಬೋಧನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ ಥರ ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಇದೆ. ಇನ್ ತಮಿಳ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಫೇಮಸ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಯ್ಯೋ. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಹರ್ಡ್? ಎನಿ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪೂಫ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೌತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ವಿಲ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪುಟ್ ಅಯ್ಯೋ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲಮೇಟರಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್. You can, there is good ayyo and bad ayyo. Ayyo itself has two varieties. If you are in a very troubled situation, ayyo, then your ancestors and your family members will detest you. ಆ ಥರ ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು. If you are very excited, ayyo, then they'll be very happy. So there is a good ayyo and bad ayyo. Okay. In English we have a wow. Ulagamunda peruvaya. How much you open, that proves your English is good. If you say wow, that means you are basic English. Wow. That means you are great. Alas. Hooray. Similarly, in Tamil there is a word acho. He is a great poet. Great poets should not use such words. See, if we write a poetry, we'll say ayyo. First line. Poe, poche. This will be our poetry. But Tirumangai Azhwar can't write such. Acho means ಏನು ಸರ್ ಇವರು ಅಚ್ಚೋ ಅಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Generally in Tamil language, if you are not very smart, they'll say achu pichu. He's saying acho. Why? Because the Bhagavan is so handsome that he couldn't take his eyes off, and when you reach the zenith of human expression and ecstasy, it doesn't matter what word you say. அச்சோ பொன்னிவர் மேனி மரதகத்தின் பொங்கிளம் சோதி அகலத்தாரம் மின்னிவர் வாயில் நல்வேதம் ஓதும் வேதியர் வானவர் அவர் தோழி என்னையும் நோக்கி என் அல்குலும் நோக்கி என் இளங்கொங்கையும் நோக்குகின்றார் அன்னே என் நோக்கும் அஞ்சுகின்றேன் அச்சோ ஒருவர் அழகியவா. What a Divyadesham. You should go and see Saundararaja. On November 30th, I'll be speaking in Gayana Samaja on Muthuswami Dikshita's compositions. What he has celebrated. Saundararajam bhajeham in Brindavana Saranga. Now, this Azhwar is the last of the Azhwars. It is believed in the tradition that he is the last of the Azhwars. He is the 12th. Now this Azhwar gives a prophecy of somebody who is going to be born in the future. Vedanta Deshika. He says, முளைக்கதிரை குறுங்குடியுள் முகிலை மூவா மூவுலகும் கடந்து அப்பால் முதலாய் நின்ற அளப்பரிய ஆரமுதை அரங்கமேய வந்தனனை அந்தணர்த்தம் சிந்தையானை விளக்கொளியை மரதகத்தை திருத்தண்காவில் வெக்காவில் திருமாலை பாடக் கேட்டு வளர்த்ததனால் பயன் பெற்றேன் வருகவென்று மடக்கிளியை கை கூப்பி வணங்கினாளே. Now, all these 12 Azhwars are there. There is a 13th Azhwar. Ayyo, bidalla sir neevu. Finish it off fast. Everybody will be praying. Yavag mugitare. I'll finish now. 13th Azhwar. Yen sir? Nammanenalli 12. There is a 13th Azhwar. It's an exchange program. See, in the Acharya Parampara, one Azhwar was exported. That is Nammazhwar. He became an Acharya. One Acharya was imported by the Azhwars. That Acharya who was imported was Ramanuja. So a Prabandham on Ramanuja became a part of the 4000. It is called Ramanuja Nutrandadi. Poomanumadu Porundiya Marban. Pugalmalinda Pa Mannumaran Adi Panindu Windavan Palgalayor Tam Mannavandavi Ramanujan Charanada Vindam Nam Mannival Nenje Soluvom Avan Namangale. 108 Pasurams. Now 12 plus 1, 13. You have prabandhams on them. All put together, Vedanta Deshika gives the count. Exactly 4000 pasurams. That is why it is called Nal Ayiram Divya Prabandham. 12 plus 1. And these Azhwars were born between 6th and 9th century. Only one lady. Famous, super famous. What is her name? And the other Azhwars, they are many in number. But woman vote counts. Correct. Male vote, see, we don't know. Poigai Azhwar, we will be doubtful. Andal, everybody will remember. She is super famous, lady superstar. So, all these Azhwars gave a compendium, and every Divya Desham, if it adheres to Pancharatra or Vaikhanasa, it doesn't matter. The Azhwar Pasurams have to be sung. Great commentators. What rich tradition of commentaries for these Nalayara Divya Prabandham. Kantastham it is called. You have to remember. If somebody says first decade, fourth Thiruvaimozhi, which is Amjiraya Madarara, Aliyatta, and Amjiraya Devarumaya, first decade, third, Pattuday, Adiyavar Keliyavan, 7, 2, Kanguram Bagaram. You have to remember. If you use book, Yen Helidri, Yelu, you will be thrown out of the Goshti. Yelu Yarada, Unsatiri, sir. Tadiri, okay. Tadiri, by that time he would have completed 10 pasurams. They will hold their hands together and they will be singing to Pattoda. Generally, you don't sing Thiruvaimozhi in standing, you have to sit. But I'm just telling you, at that speed it will go. So, Nalayara Divya Prabandham did not stay just as a book. It was beautifully stitched and embroidered into a living tradition. That is the greatness. And every adoration that you do, an adulation that you do to Bhagavan in the Vaishnava Sampradaya has to be completed with pasurams. It is called Shatrum Murai. That's why it's called Shatu Murai. And then after that you will have prasadam. That is the main focus. Shatu Murai, right there, sir, right there. So we'll be ready with the plate. But the main objective is to recite the pasurams. Main objective. But for us, how can we go without the prasadam? So some of them from behind the pillar, they will extend both their hands. Right? They will get 2 shares of it. And the pillar is there. Extra grease, you can put it to the pillar. That is why in many of the temples, fire accident, I wonder how is the temple burning? Temples are made of stone. How will they burn? Because all the pillars are filled with the grease that you get from all these prasadams. Full of oil, that's all. If you put fire, it will catch fire. So our focus is on prasadam, but I'm sure here all you devotees have come. You're all extremely devoted to Azhwar. Some of you may be competing for the 14th position. 13 are filled. So, but we have a very rich tradition. That is the point. That is why Santvani has been organized in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. See, I can talk similarly for Annamacharya, for Bhadrachala Ramadasa, Kancherla Gopanna, Kshetriya, Varadaya he was called, the Ashtadasas, Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa. You go to Iriyamantambi, Swadi Tirunal, Poondanam, Eluthachan in Kerala. You can go to Arunachala Kavi, Ramanataka, Muttutandavar, Marimutta Pillai. The Carnatic Trinity, what a grandeur they gave. Shama Shastri, Muttuswami Dikshita, Tyagaraja. What compositions. Right? What great compositions. There is not a single pre-wedding shoot without Pavanaja Stuti Patra. That girl will be running in the fields. Her sari will be going. I've seen all this. That they will hold the sari from behind. Then they will say, take. Then it has to flutter. Pavanaja Stuti Patra. The girl is running. to that boy. I don't know what connection this Pavanaja has, because Pavanaja means Hanuman has to be there. At least you should shoot in Vandalur or Bannerghatta. Pavanaja Stuti Patra. She is running in the middle of the field. Just with 10% revenue sharing, Tyagaraja would have become a millionaire today. Pavana Manavyal Kancharadate Marmamelani. He sings out of crying. Manavyala Kinchuradate. He's crying because he knows Telugu. We don't know. Manavyala Kincharadate. What is? So all our sons have done a great job. Telugu, Tamil, Kannada. Why should I spare the Bhashas north? Tulasidas, Surdas, Meera, Narsim Mehta, Eknath, Tukaram, Kanopatra, Jayadeva, Lalleshwari, Abhinava Gupta, Shankaradeva. Oh my goodness, Parama Bhagavatamoni Varasa Shivi Bhakara Sanaka Sanandana Digisha Surakim Purusha Kanaka Kashis Pusudanarada Tumburu Pavana Sunu Bala Chandra Dhara Shuka Saroja Bava Bhusura Varulu Parama Pavanulu Ghanulu Shashvatulu Kamala Bhava Suka Musadanu Bhava Mugayandaro Mahanu Bhavulu. In that huge Ganga of Santvani organized graciously by Bharati Vidya Bhavan, they have ordained me to speak on the lives and work of Azhwars. See, I am sure I have not done any justice because their lives are great, works are greater, the commentary is the greatest. 4,000 Pasurams, life history of 12 plus 1, 13 saints, commentaries, all this in 2 hours. You are asking me generally who does go slightly out of topic and come. That is my style. If you had called some other scholar, they would have stuck. The next Azhwar we are going to see, it would have been like a AIR show. Adutha paadal naam ketka virupadu. I can't talk like that. I don't belong to that breed. That is my mistake. Whatever comes to my mind at that point in time, I will say. There is open talk. It is like an open discussion. Town hall session they do in big 4s and big 3s. Mine will be a town hall session. So, but you have all graciously sat on a Saturday evening with absolutely no traffic. Why are you all laughing? I thought there was no traffic. We came, we reached. That is the if there is traffic, you can never reach. In Bangalore, we have finally reached our destination. That itself is a great sign of peace in the city. So, on the 30th of November, I'm going to borrow the words of Azhwar. Appodaikku Ipode sollivete. I'm going to tell you now itself. Make note of it, November 30th. Now I'll tell you, don't ask me after the lecture. Generally, communication is neat. November 30th, this month. They will ask which year? In the version 2030. Will I talk? 2025. November 30th. Sunday. 6 p.m. 5 p.m. that you have to check. Bengaluru Gayana Samaja. Free lecture in English on Muthuswami Dikshita. If you have your sons, daughters, grandsons, granddaughters who may be learning music, who may want to learn music, but who are learning music but don't sing, whichever category they belong to, if they have the patience to sit through for a 2-hour lecture and look at my face for 2 continuous hours, bring them. November 30th, Bengaluru Gayana Samaja. December, main lecture will come again in February. February 13th, I will be speaking at Suryanarayana Swami Temple's Mantapam. In Tamil, I will be speaking for Navaratri function for Ramakrishna Bhajana Sabha. The topic will be Shatpadiyum Saptapadiyum. That is the topic in Tamil. Then March, of course, April, I will have a lecture at the Fort High School grounds for the very famous Ramaseva Mandali. And so these are my lectures. So that will be an English lecture. All of this is published on social media. They come through messages. Wherever you can, try participating. Thank you so much for your attendance today. भक्तिसार कुलशेखर यतीन्द्र भट्टनाथ भूत मुनिवाहन भक्तपाद धूलि मधुर कविसर परकाल महदाह्वय प्रमुखैरविरल संस्तूयमान तद्रमिडगानन सोल्लस किञ्चित् उन्मीलित नयनं पालित भुवनं खेलित रङ्गपुरन्दर भवनं श्रीरङ्गनाथम् अनीशम् Vande. That great Azhwars, and to that Bhagavan Divya Dampati, Kamam Santumita Karambita Gunan, Vadyani Padyaninaha, Kasyasmin Shatake, Satambukatake, Doshashrutim Kshamyati, Nishpratyuha, Vrishadri Nirjara Jharatkara Chale Nochalan, Deenadambana Divya Dampati Daya, Kallola Kola Halaha, Kavitarkika Simhaya, Kalyana, Gunashaline, Srimate, Venkateshaya, Vedanta, Gurave Namaha, Swastif Prajabhyav Paripalayantam. न्याय्येन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गो ब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभम अस्तु नित्यं लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु. नमस्कार.
Namaskaram. In the coming months of November, December, January and February, there are very many discourses of mine both in Tamil and in English across different cities. The details of them have been posted on all my social media handles. Nevertheless, once more, for your attention and for your sake, I would like to read out very quickly. On the 1st of November, I have a keynote address at the Western Ghats Lit Fest. And in the evening, I've got a lecture on Bhajagovindam for Mahaperiyava group at Mayflower Shakti Gardens. On the 2nd of November, I'm very delighted to be performing Sangeeta Katha Nrityam with Sangeetam Vidwan Aditya Madhavan, dance by Shruti Priya Vignesh, and the topic is Bhajagovindam, where I will be speaking at Naradagana Sabha. On the 15th of November, I will be giving a lecture on the lives and the works of Azhwars for Bharati Vidya Bhavan in Bangalore. On the 29th of November, there is a mega event where I will be speaking on the 6 witnesses with 4 great musicians, Surya Gayatri, Spurti Rao, Vishruti and Swaratmika, with the dance by Smriti Sudhakar at the Music Academy. 30th of November, I will be speaking on Guru Guhananda in English, the contributions made by Mudduswami Dikshita at the Bengaluru Gayana Samaja. On the 5th of December at Hosur, Dasappa Kalyana Mantapam, I'll be talking on Bhajagovindam. On the 6th of December at Sri Yadugiri Yadiraja Matha in Malleshwaram, Bangalore on Sri Krishna Leela. On the 10th of December for Margari Maha Utsavam, the topic will be Pasurapadi Ramayanam with Anahita and Apurva. 11th of December at Bharati Vidya Bhavan, Ramanuja Charitram, a Harikatha with Anahita and Apurva. On the 12th of December, it's a closed door event for the Rotary Club of Madras East. 13th of December with Kiran and Nivi, it's a Harikatha on Kulashekar Alvar Vaibhavam at RK Convention Center in Mylapore. 14th of December, Shastra Satsang Vadaparani. Being the Narayaniyam day, it's a special lecture on Narayaniyam Enum Wonder. And 15th December at Sri Shankara Vidyashramam, conducted by Karnataka and Tiruvanmayur, it will be a Harikatha with Anahita and Apurva on Attigiri Varadar Vandar. And 16th of December at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan for Karthik Fine Arts, it is Harikatha on Annamaya Charitram with Swaratmika. 17th of December at Shastra Satsang again, Vedanta Deshika Charitram Harikatha with Rangan Brothers from Melbourne. On the 18th of December at Bharat Kalachar, it's a Harikatha on Periyazhwar, Andalum with Rangan Brothers yet again at TP Road. 19th of December in the morning, Ramanuja Millennium Auditorium for Charsur Arts. We will be doing a Harikatha with Anahita and Apurva on Rama Bhaktiyum Vibhaktiyum. Followed by that, on the 19th of December at Karnataka Sangha School for Anusham Arts Academy, it will be a Harikatha on Ramanatakam of Arunachala Kavi with Swaratmika. And on the 20th of December in the morning for Parthasarathi Swami Sabha, at a Vidya Bharati Kalyana Mandapam. It will be a Upanyasam on Shatpadiyum, Saptapadiyum. And 20th of December evening, Naradagana Sabha. It is a beautiful Harikatha on Nari Shakti, Stri Shakti with Anahita and Apurva. 21st of December in the morning for Sharanalayam, Mahaperiyava Sharanalayam in Nanganallur, there will be a lecture on Shatpadiyum and Saptapadiyum. In the afternoon, it is an interview at the Tamil Virtual Academy Auditorium at Koturpuram on the Azhwars. And then on 21st of December evening at Shoringanallur at Umadri Mahal, it will be a topic called Kamban Yenum Ramabhaktan. The same topic, Kamban Yenum Ramabhaktan, I will be speaking on the 22nd of December at Tirunelveli for Nellai Sangeeta Sabha. 23rd of December at Shivakasi for Vairam Meera Convention Center. On the 24th of December for Setupati School in Madurai, the same topic. And on the 30th of December, tentatively I am to speak on the importance of Nutyat Divyadesham on the Vaikuntha Ekadashi Eve for PGP Auditorium in Singapore. On the 31st of December, it is for Tamil Isai Mandram in Georgetown. I will be speaking on Tiruppugadil Ramayanam. And coming to the month of January, on the 17th of Jan, I will be speaking on Narayaniyam in Wonder for Shanmukhananda in Mumbai. On the 18th of December, it is our grand production called Agre Pashyami at the very same premises. On 1st of February, I am to participate and speak at the Jain University Summit in Kochi. And 13th of February, it will be a special lecture for Shivaratri for Odakattur Mutt, which will be organized by Ramakrishna Bhajana Sabha. On the 22nd of February, for the first time, I am going to be a part of Mayuram Bhajanotsavam in the very, very famous and very close to heart Mayavaram. So that is the program for now. I know it's too many programs. All this has been put in the form of poster. Please do participate wherever you can. Namaskar.